Oh no! There I am. Hello, guys. What's up? If you're new here, I'll explain what RPG Maker Monday is. It's an amazing little game that we play where I'm making a video game. After all the garbage I've been talking about how anime writing could be good, but it's actually terrible, and all writers are terrible, and they should feel ashamed, and I would actually make the best video game in the world. We're doing that. Yeah, it exploded. We got some upgrades here. Last time there were some issues. I had to keep making OBS windows for every little thing I did in RPG Maker, but we got a bit of a different setup this time. Things should flow better. We'll go over the game. We'll see where we left off last time we were making it. But what I do know today is before we do any more tutorials, before we learn any more fucking tips and tricks, we have to make a forest. Have you ever played an RPG where the first area of the game isn't a forest? Maybe Persona 4. Maybe some kind of like fucking abstract going into Mind Palace bullshit games. Other than that, Pokemon and Final Fantasy and every D&D campaign taught me that you leave the house and you go into the woods and a mystical adventure begins. So one of the first things we gotta do is make some forest. Yes, I don't know if it'll be the forest to sacrifice, but I did get a suggestion earlier. So the way it's been working is we're gonna go through 100 floors of chaos so we can do the fetch quest, you know, get a piece of wood and cross the river. And someone brought up to me, hey, like, that is a lot of work for the most simplest fetch quest. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm gonna have to introduce fetch quest before that, because tutorials, we're gonna have to teach how, you know, use NPCs for side quests and stuff. And this person requested that every fucking fetch quest until the piece of wood is got better be some huge political, huge decisive, fucking life-changing decision up until you get the piece of wood. And I said, I can do that. We can write that in. Not a problem. Alright, I'm gonna... Oh no, I've disappeared again! My gosh, guys, it's not cool. But I'm gonna load us up some music and then we'll get started on our forest. This music was good enough for my imaginary grocery store. It's good enough for you people. Maple Story. Enjoy. Almost ready. Y'all excited for The Sims 97? Well, actually, we can't play Maple Story. We can't vibe to Maple Story yet. Alright. Here we should be. Let's see what we have going on, because we gotta test the game first every time. In case you've forgotten, this is The Sims 97. Also known as the Cat Girl Diaries. Don't be confused, please. New game. So you load up the game as a first-time player. We'll be doing something with this woods today. I was crying about how we have to make it solid so I can't walk over it. But no, this is where the new land will go. But let's pretend I don't know shit. It's like, oh, I'm a cat girl. Cool, RPG where I don't get to make my own character, make my own name or nothing. I am a cute cat girl who looks like a bandit or something. So if I spawn in here, what is the player gonna do? Are they gonna... They're gonna fight a goblin because we played around and fucked around too much. That'll teach the player. Trying to make decisions. Oh, don't die, Emily Nannington. This is our first introduction to the character. So as a player, I'm gonna give this game like a 1 out of 10. What the fuck introduction is this? This is why we've got to make some fucking improvements. Oh no, we might die. We might die before... Please, okay. Okay, let's not linger around and have to fight goblins. Hopefully I'll find a way later so that doesn't happen to a player. Let's try that again, shall we? My question I was posing before a fucking goblin named Cyrax came at us was, okay, so you spawn in here. Would the first thing you do be like, what's up with that fairy guy in that tower over there? Or would you be like, that dog, though? I would say you have to click on the dog first, right? And then that begins our tale. Hello, have you stopped being a misogynist failure of a human today? You pick me. Did you know that humans are responsible for everything bad? So this is Mom Dog. She called her own child a pick-me. Lovely. Why couldn't you have been born a fox girl? And, you know, that's the drama here. Why are we not a fox girl? Why are we a kitty cat girl? A Neko? Meow meow, give me milkies. Not great. Then we go into this home. There's Fox Dad. Clearly, Mom Dog got with Fox Dad to have a fox daughter, and it didn't happen. Sorry that Dog Mom is so hateful towards you. I would tell you that I love you, but I'm having a nervous breakdown. Your mom put us in debt buying this temple that only has one room. I'm gonna have to get a second job, but I love her as well. It's just how it has to be. Okay, and then I gotta fix this as well so they don't replay dialogue. We've got some things on this. I know if I sit on my stool, I have to sleep on the stool sitting up, and this wash basin is my only possession. However, I haven't been allowed clean water not since the war. So we're getting some interesting backstory for this character, clearly. Then here's the place in the basement with the 2 coffins. These coffins Mom bought for me and Dad on clearance. She reminds us every day there aren't people who are as thoughtful as her. That poor skeleton over there didn't have a mom dog to buy him a coffin. I guess we should be thankful. Yeah. Oh no, who's this stranger down here, though? Hiya, Perry. If I run across a sleeping bag or something out on my journey, I'll bring it to you. Now, this is also Emily's portrait art here. She was made and create a character. I think she's quite cute. And we got some different emotions there for her. She's got a sad face. Poor Perry. He was adopted because he has kitsune ears. He was better than me. He was supposed to be heir to the clan, but he couldn't open his eyes. Even though I'm a cat girl, at least I have eyes, so I gotta remain heiress. And he gets to live in the basement with coffins. Not fun. Yeah, see, he can't open his eyes. Are you going somewhere? I am the blind. So you know, I don't know what's going on, but it is quite cold down here. A blanket would be nice, if you'd be so kind. But what I would really like is to one day be free of this basement. Can you help me? No. Because you get your own room. You are always their favorite. You enjoy your luxury. He doesn't have it, like, she doesn't have it as good as him. She gets a fucking stool and a wash basin and gets to look at her mom sleep on this nice fun bed over here. Now, clearly, we can't do anything across this river. We don't got anything going on at that oasis quite yet. We can walk right over it. What is this? So all there is to talk to Fairy Bro. And then this is the plot line, of course, of chat member Fuyan over here. Really didn't like one of my designs and really demands it to be fixed. So now he's made himself an antagonist in my video game. Sorry that I live on your front lawn. It feels like I've been here the last 15 years. I've seen you grow up because I'm not allowed to leave. Sucks to be this guy. Oh, we gotta remember to put profile picture in here. I don't need me anymore. Sucks to be this guy. He was sent here by Emperor Fuyan, the warlord that lives across the river. One time that man visited and he got mad that the entrance to my parents' home was off-centered, so he sent this guy to complain. That was longer than 15 years ago. Emperor Fuyin won't leave his home until the issue's resolved. It's really stupid. So, it's a living though, I guess. That's what happens when the gacha doesn't go in my master's favor. Please fix the entrance though. So clearly that's the sort of quest we're starting on here is... This here area needs to also be stairs, or some kind of event needs to change or trigger something that'll make the fairy guy, or maybe we could just lie to him. Maybe we can say, hey, oh, I know, we can get a fake union contract or something from a business that says, hey, we're totally gonna do repairs, and he'll be like, oh my gosh, let me see the receipt. Then he'll move, and that's how we'll get into the tower. Flawless decision. Alright. So that's basically the plan. That's our introduction. I want to start every video off using skills that we learned last time, or have learned this whole time. Last time there was a lot of actually messing with the skills, the moves, the combat. We did do some of that, and we might have to make some enemies for the forest as well, so we'll be revisiting that. Write me some timestamps here. See, look at that smooth transition, guys. We're professional here now. We don't need this here. We don't need the Sims 97 no more. We need to create a new map. This'll be, what's it gonna be called? Well, it's the forest. Duh. Need outside tile set. I don't know what any of these means yet. We will... I want to make it quite a bit big. I don't know what any of these numbers mean. Now remember, you don't come to this stream to, like, actually learn stuff and hear stats and things that make sense. That would mean someone other than I was doing this stream, and I wouldn't have that any other way. But we'll have some random devs tutorials later, and I think his tutorials are pretty good. We'll just do 80 on everything. We don't got any wonderful music yet. We'll worry about that later when we get there. All right. Oh, this might be too big. Yeah, we don't want bigger than a screen, I don't think, because I don't understand the scrolling shit yet. Find a master forge who can forge any official document. Oh, that's... yeah, you know what? We might do that. We can't make our own custom enemies quite yet. We're not that smart. So we'll probably... well, we might need to put some slimes in. Let's see. Forest is bugs. Goblins. Murderers. Homeless people. Okay, let's try this again. The forest. Let's do 20 by 14. That makes sense in my head. Okay, yeah, we can work with this. Oop, just a sec. Okay, our lovely vibe. We go over to this. Of course, this tab's for events and nerdy stuff. This tab over here is for drawing. Alright, so in the woods, I'd like the path to be, you know, kind of a dirt path. We'll start here. This is Baby's first forest map, so it's like gonna be this. Oh man, a branching path. Where will this one lead? Hey. Probably to an item. While this will lead to a boss. Or maybe, I don't know. This is just dead end. And then after this... Alright. I have no fucking clue what any of that meant. Time to make a woods now. Nah, darker. Yeah. Why is there random sand highlighted? We don't know. We can't make it look too much like a damn golf course, though. That'd be problematic. But we're still at the stage in our little game here where we're just using the default stuff. Resource manager, at least what's really nice about that is like when if I want to replace all those goblins with something more custom and to our taste for whatever we're going with, this little improv experiment, all I gotta do is replace the goblin image in the resource files, I do believe. So it won't be that much of a big deal once we start customizing stuff. Okay, this shitty little golf course right here. We need to have a waterfall, though. It's the law. I don't like that, actually. Do I not have... Okay, I'll turn it back. Back to dark. We do gotta put some water somewhere. Does this feel like a Tales of Symphonia Wonderful Land? Is your imagination on this canvas of dreams just exploding with possibilities and adventure? Please tell me it is. Aw, just Bremen. I don't know. We need trees now. Wouldn't have no one living in this woods. This woods is for real survivors. Gonna be some scary mountains in here, though. No, that does not make no sense. We are making starter woods. Not a power cliff bar, like, you know, opening. Where are the trees? How are we to do business without oxygen? Oh, there's our oxygen. Okay, this, I thought I could do cooler stuff, but I decided to choose, you know, the stupid overworld sprites, and then you're limited. Can't go no on mushroom adventures in this forest. Well, we can make the villains mushrooms. That makes sense. Here's gonna be a sign. Let you know you're stupid for walking down this way. These are the only trees they give you? My gosh. Don't they know that trees are important to the universe? See, I wonder if that's what these are for with the resource manager. Like I said, you could just put these in and then just replace tile 123. That's a handy thing to have, I suppose. We don't have a 123 yet, though. And I want the thing to happen here on this. I don't want to go into another map. There is no shroom sprites. Can you believe such a thing? Now we're gonna have to put a random fucking pyramid in the woods again. Just to add some, like, some special. No, you can't take a bridge across to the end. Wonder if there's any trees on the internet. We're not doing custom yet. We gotta put craters to remind you of the war. Here, we will create plot from adversity, you see. This used to be a forest streaming with trees, just like over here. But then the meteorites fell. And it happened so long ago before recorded history, before that river even came about. No one knows. Like, it's disgusting, really. What used to be a proud forest is now full of fucking acme. Gross. There, now we won't pay attention to how bland the trees are. See, there is a video game developer. What I just did there was distract the audience. And we got plot. It's great. This is a wonderful forest here. Wouldn't you have... Yeah, this happened before Fuyan. Fuyan will, like, act like he knows what happened here, but he doesn't, actually. He doesn't at all. No one knows. It's before recorded history, as I've said. No, we gotta leave this twist for something else. Maybe you have to solve what happened here to, you know, get the piece of wood. That's what makes sense to me. Alright, I think this is what we're limited to for right now. This is interesting enough, though. Like I said, this here, we'll even put a broken fucking tower in the woods. Rapunzel doesn't even want to be here anymore. She broke it. No, this is Rapunzel's tower over here. This might be Rapunzel's woods. She's so disgusted, like, because, you know, mind you, Rapunzel was kidnapped and forced to live in a tower. That's cool, but she never had to pay rent, and now she's gonna have to learn. What do you do? What do you do in this world where you've never had to fend for yourself? This might be Rapunzel's world right here. Anything we can put out in that water to make it a little less lonely? I know. My favorite old trope of I'm gonna put a treasure chest up there and you're never gonna have access to it. Because that never gets old. Or a space where you're like, oh my gosh, I'll get up there one day. But will you? I don't know. Oh, and here's a random whirlpool. Just because. Oh no, the whirlpools were caused by the meteorites. There, now everybody will look at everything when they go onto this map, except how bland the trees are. Success! We're video game developers, everybody. So that's the forest. The forest shouldn't be a sub-map to this... No, okay, the forest needs to be a sub to the... yeah. Okay, now we gotta figure out how to transport there using the skills we learned last time. Now we know we can walk over all these tiles. I guess we'll just make all of them transport us. And that's fine, because we can just copy and paste. We're done making a map, so we go over to here, our little, whatever they call it, event switch. Hell, I don't even know if I have to... I don't even know if I have to even fucking load up that. Quick event shit. We're just doing a transfer. And our location, the forest. Here to be exact, have them looking up. It's what the direction here means, you know, up, down, left, right. Shows which way the character's looking when we eventually go there. And then I can just copy that onto all the forest, and then I don't gotta worry about it no more. Now we go over to the forest. This is where that... We can make both these here the exit. Well, like I said, we got multiple ways to get there through that lazy tile set. Multiple ways to get out. Here, 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 here. Except you'd be looking in different directions. If we were to create transfer here, and we're going to the overworld, you would probably exit out of here. So you would be looking to your right. You're going that way. We'll do the same for here. But then here, you'll be down. We'll send you on the other side of the map so you have a longer way to walk. That'll fucking teach you for thinking, oh, look, a different exit. And you'll be looking down at yourself, like your self-esteem will be for making such a foolish decision. Copy that there. Alrighty. File. Save. Let's see if it works. We can leave my music on because we don't have any in the game yet, except for the title screen. Wait, Cthulhu's girlfriend got cheated on with Paul Bunyan. They had a fight in these woods. Well, can you find a way to workshop Rapunzel into there? That'd be helpful. Alright, so if we go in this way... I don't know about that sound, that... Okay. That's kind of a weird sound for going in the woods. Rapunzel's the girlfriend? Oh, well this sucks because... Oh, here, we found a bug for us. Since I copied and pasted those everywhere, if I go up, transfer. I think out here it'll be okay to have the transfer everywhere, but not on the inside. That's okay, all we gotta do is delete, delete. 2 entrances, one this way, one that way. Let's see if that fixes it. So Rapunzel's gonna be the girlfriend. Ah, I'm still trapped. I have to walk this... Ow. Okay. Look, this is the first part of the game, is not getting trapped on the screen. I'm not fixing it again. This is the challenge. When you get to that sign over there... Okay, it does scroll. When you get to this sign over here, it'll tell you. It'll tell you what a great person you are for getting past that first part of the game. In that one day, if this is a Twitch Plays Pokemon type scenario. Oh, you're fucked there. We can get out just fine, though, and go back home. That's what matters. Alright. I'd say it's time to go into the first tutorial, then. I'm fine with my forest. This is beautiful. And we'll fill it with the next things that we'll be learning. As I said last time we left off with some randev, though, we were learning about stats and monsters and all that. And I'm just gonna do the default stuff until otherwise, I guess. I'm just kind of going as we go, because I kind of just want to edit all that towards the end. Make it more custom. I don't know if I can get away with it, but we'll see. Him. Hitting pause on that. Do I got a video queued up? Yes, I do. Let's see how smooth this transition works on this new and improved RPG Maker Monday here. Like I get one piece of information, timestamps, because we're good like that. We do that now. Sometimes. When I remember to, actually. Alright, back to RPG Maker. And our wonderful tutorial. Check this out. Tiny screen go. We're doing 5 tutorials each video, so we're on tutorial 11 right now, of course. I think this will be about distributing items, and we're gonna do some of that in the woods. We're gonna do everything in this new, ugly, disgusting forest that I just made. Hey. Tiny... Hold on, I'll fix it. One more sec. We just gotta work out the kinks. Da, 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 da. Actually, I'll move us over. I'll move us over to Fate Friday very quick. Just to test this. It should look like... This is what I want. Okay, you're gonna see a disgusting cascade very quick. Just ignore that. I just gotta turn the screen on. There we go. Okay, disgusting, I know. Okay, here we go.
We went through and learned how to create a skill and an item as you see right here. So we created the super potion item and the skill ice as you see right here. And we did all that, but how do you actually make it so we obtain this skill or this item? And that's what we're going to be doing in today's tutorial. So let's get straight into it. To start off, let's focus on skills. How can you obtain a skill? And the main basic way you're going to obtain a skill is through your class. So if we go to our classes, we'll find that at the very bottom right here, we have this list of skills to learn. And as you can probably guess, this is just going to be a system that lets you say, if the player is at level 5 and they have this class, they're going to learn our ice skill right here. And all it does is it just says, alright, cool. This is a hero class. Our actor right here.
If you recall, we got the PNG tuber class is how we're starting. Basically what I am. And just because we have to fight these goblins that are weak. Well, that's my fault. I didn't use my skill. We gave a little water skill just to clear those out in case the player gets hit by hordes. Once again, ice, I created an issue and now I've had to fix it. Power through adversity. So we just got the one class right now.
Whatever has a class of hero. So when this person gets level 5, they are going to learn our ice skill as you see right here. And you can go through each and every class and set so at certain levels, say level 10, they'll gain another skill such as fire, or at level 15, they'll gain...
Let's create another skill very quick. So we got life swipe. I don't think we ever got this one to work, so we're just gonna get rid of it. The idea was it will, the skill will attack you and then absorb some life, but it really wasn't working out too well, so we're gonna get rid of that. PNG Tuber so far has got this, which is a water attack, and this, which is just their physical default attack. Well, we need to do something at level 2. We need to give them a heal spell, though. We can just give them the generic. Let's see, so we can look at this XP curve here. I don't want to mess it. I just want to see what level this person would have to be at, what their HP would be, because that matters how much we're recovering skill-wise. What are the heals? Heal 1. 500. See, that's too much. Alright, what's a good name for a healing spell? Healing 1. And I will, while you think of a fucking good one that's better than heal one, I'm gonna see what the HP is the good old-fashioned way. Well, I gotta start a new game, clearly, to see what my HP is, because it doesn't tell you the max on that screen. That's quite annoying. Okay, I got 363, so I don't want the first fucking heal spell to be 500 plus. That's a bit much. I think 100's good enough. Back to the database. Didn't get a suggestion, so it's gonna be spooge. It's gonna be sperm. That's what happened. It's gonna be whatever fucking Chris Chan. What Chris Chan used to do, the freezing of the sperm in the freezer, because he believed you had to save it for future use and drink it, so your body would recycle it. I would just call it recycling, because you're pulling a healing aura out of yourself. And then that's gonna be the thing with this is recycling, because it's actually not gonna work on other people, just yourself. Restores HP by stealing from your soul energy. Because you have to use SP to use it, so it is stealing from your soul energy. Skill type magic. He costs 12, yeah. Okay, I want it to only work on one. Say, I wish I could fucking... User. Yeah, just user. No one else. User. Yeah, well, we're not doing retention. We're recycling now. Number 1 decides to take up number 2, which is recycling. And we're gonna do fucking 100. 100 plus... attack magic. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, can we make that? Hold on. Formula. Actually, let's make it MP. Plus MP. The more MP you have, the more health you get. I haven't seen a formula like that yet. Hey, elements... None. Animation, heal all 1. Oh, what are you doing? Don't. Okay. Which one of these looks like recycling? Pulling your sperm out of the freezer. Maybe it should be an ice one. Ice healing. Alrighty. Required weapon, none. Just a good old magic attack. Alright, recycling, so we will go to classes. We'll learn this at level 2, because we need it to fight the goblins, and hope this works better than the last one we did. Okay.
Another skill which could be, say, Spark. And each level they grow up, they'll get to a certain level, learn a certain thing, and then they'll continue onward. So of course, you'd probably want to make it so the skills correspond to the stat gains of each class. So a mage would learn more magic skills, a priest would learn more healing skills, warrior learn more like physical offensive skills, hero would learn some more like just basic standard skills, and that's pretty much all there is for skills. Now let's get into the exciting part, which is the shops and the items and all the crazy stuff. So if you recall, our very first
We'll make a higher level spell as we go, as we progress in the game. We don't need more than level 2 yet. Maybe we'll come up with the level 5 when we got something going on with this forest.
NPC we ever created was right here, and we're gonna take this person and manipulate them for a bit. So let's hit the delete button to delete all these crazy events. It'll make so this NPC actually gives us an item. So let's go in here, let's go to change items in the first tab,
Alright, so let me recall here. Cthulhu's girlfriend got cheated on with Paul Bunyan. They had a fight in these woods. I guess we're making Rapunzel now. Let's go. Oh. Alright, so we need Rapunzel. We're not gonna do Paul Bunyan. We don't. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT, as they say. So he just needs to be spoken of. So we need Rapunzel, and then I guess that means... like, well, Cthulhu's also an old one, so we just need to really make Rapunzel, and we're gonna put her in front of the tower, of course. Everyone be blocking towers, because towers might have interesting things in them. So we gotta create boring-ass, bland-ass NPCs, everyone's favorite. Good old creator generator window. Alright, Rapunzel. How are we gonna make this with default? Email. She can't look. And here's the #1 rule for if you're gonna create a JRPG and you're gonna have a female main character like we do. #1 rule. They've all gotta be uglier than us. That way it fulfills the wish fulfillment later. That will be like, oh my god, you're so great. You're the coolest girl to hang out with in the world. So if you're playing as a guy, you'll be like, yeah, this is the waifu everyone wants. I'm playing the game and get to stare at all the waifu that everybody wants. But if you're a girl, you could be like, yeah, everybody wants me. Wish fulfillment. That's surely what a JRPG is all about. Let's see. Rapunzel. She would have these braids, but we also need the braids in the back. Braids everywhere. Let's not be too weird, but we'll find a way to make her. She's an ex after all. She's already attractive. Cthulhu dumped her. This is. Oh no, we got more choices. This is, yeah, there's a more Rapunzel-ish. Brown hair all around. She's got the little bun there, so she can be like, look at me. This is what the Chum-Li does in the Street Fighter, so I'm more cultural. I'm more than just a Disney princess. That's what she wants you to think. Her face is melting off, though, because she just can't process this world. No. There we go. That's good enough. That says weirdo. Eyes. What eyes say, man? And now let's remember, we need to create several. We want to be a good game with several things. This should be your default. Crying Rapunzel. She just doesn't know what happened to her life. Everything was wonderful. Pointed nose, though, that whole Pinocchio thing. Yeah, that still looks like a smile. We need a bit more of a frown. Yeah. None of this. No tails. Nothing crazy. Clothing, though. That's kind of Rapunzel. Yeah, that's very Princess Peach. I can notice here from the brooch on the collar. No, she wouldn't have a face mask. Alright, and there she is, Rapunzel. Hold on. Let's see if it works. Probably not. Okay, we're just gonna have to cascade every time I get rid of this thing. I thought I had a button that makes it work, but it doesn't, apparently. Nope, that don't work. I'm gonna have to click it every time. Okay. There we go. Said it's just annoying. I need like 8 billion monitors to do anything fun, apparently. It's the only way to make it work. But here we go. We got Rapunzel. No, we don't. Okay, good. Good thing it saves, because I'm just like, I didn't save nothing. I didn't... Yeah, that's good enough. Save. Now, this is annoying, if I recall. Face image. Export is save, because we can't use normal people. Rapunzel. Normal people language, I was about to say. Alright, so this right here is her normal default. We need her a bit, you know...
insane manipulation grind.
With that little manipulative glint. This is when she's trying to look like a nice little princess, trying to play upon your sympathies here. Yeah, that's a good look for that. Eyebrows. Bit more innocent, bit more nice. Bit more of a smile on her face. And any of these will work for fucking walking, damaged, all that shit. Alright, import Rapunzel. Export Rapunzel. Alright, so default sad, manipulative happy. We need the angry, the breakdown face. The I've gotten caught with my evil schemes, oh no. Okay, no, because this face right here just says, these eyes say, oh yeah. These fools don't even know who they just made a deal with. Alright, we need that smirk right there. And then one more, I like to have at least 4 for each face. Okay, so happy, manipulative, default, sad, so it's gotta be, as I said, the breakdown, the I'm finished, you've figured out my scheme. That Danganronpa face, like at the end of the case when we know you're the murderer. Be more than... Yeah, this, well, then we'll do, like, the pursed lips. Yeah. Rapunzel. Alright, now here's our walking. Damage. You gotta do this for just basically every... I'm not importing, I'm exporting, silly. I don't know if we'll be battling this person to say yet, but at least they'll all be saved here. Alright, what a wonderful creative character. Now, put her right here. Rapunzel. Let's see, you'll have to, as the player, walk all the way up here to talk to her. But who said this got to be the first item someone gives you in the game? Because we're probably going to put a chest somewhere. Maybe not. We'll figure it out as we go. Just going to follow the tutorial. We still have all the lore here. She'll be stepping. We'll have to talk to her. Priority same. Okay, so when we meet her, she's gonna be devastated. She has this crying face on, so sniff. Hiccup. Hi. Sorry that I'm so sad. Just ignore me. We don't know who she is yet, of course, so it's question mark, question mark, question mark, as you do. Then I come in. Me. The main character. Okay, so she told me... Alright, this face. Alright, I guess I'll be on my way then. I mean, the woman said leave me alone, Emily. So that's what we're gonna do. She said ignore me. Actually, I'll just copy paste. It's easier that way. Work smarter, not harder. Not changing a reaction, let's just copy and paste it and then edit it and not waste all that time just doing what I just did. No, sorry. What I meant to say was... Please validate all the bad things that just happened to me by listening to me go on about it. That's what she meant. There, a little bit of an innocent face right here. Can you please just hear me out? It'll make me feel better. And now, can our main character get away with being, you know, fuck you, I don't want to deal with an attention seeker? Or can she possibly, I don't know, be triggered because her narcissist dog mom always needed to be pleased by her, so I don't think she can ignore this woman. She'll be a bit annoyed by it, though. Ugh, are you serious? I don't have time to listen to some stranger cry in the woods. And then this is when the memories are gonna be. This is where the sad flashback will be. Maybe she didn't learn her lesson yet. Start of the character arc. Well, Emily, no matter what, she's gonna be just kind of tortured here. Like, parentheses. There were times when my mother would get like this. Want to make sure it doesn't look bad and getting cut off. This here line right here means it'll get cut off on the screen. It'll disappear. It'll be hidden text. It'll be a bad video game is what it'll be. There were times when my mother would get like this and demand attention from strangers or anyone who would listen. and she would explode with anger if she didn't get any attention. Oh no, I didn't mean to hit enter. And then that's all she's gonna leave it at. She's not gonna go into it too much. You've already, like a fine wine Silent Hill game, you've already seen the evidence that, you know, she's kind of triggered by Dog Mom. She's kind of like, oh no, I don't want to displease a woman who's mad and angry and crying all the time. That's just too much. Alright, so now we get to go back to Rapunzel here. We'll use default. Like, you haven't even answered. Everything's been in parentheses so far. And... thank you very much. I'll tell you everything. Now that you've asked. I will give a bit of a happy face for this one before we go back into the sad face. Then we'll put all the lore right here as you've said. When I was only 4, my mother refused to take me to Great Clips. So my hair was way too long, you see. And because of that, I became Rapunzel. Oops, didn't mean to do that, but I think I just cutted. Copy. Cutted like Rapunzel hair. Ah, at Great Clips, everyone's favorite haircut place. Since I became Rapunzel, I was either fated to become the Silver Surfer or get kidnapped and married to Cthulhu. Cthulhu it was. He locked me. I didn't think we'd be writing this today. But I'm always surprised here on RPG Maker Monday. Cthulhu it was. He locked me in a tower and never let me get a haircut again. Weird. Okay. He locked me in a tower. I don't have enough room for any more text there. And we can start changing her name to Rapunzel now. We doing the cool thing where her name has been revealed, so it shall be put there. Okay, maybe a little bit of an upset face for this one. It was terrible my whole life, but then it got worse. Because this man named Paul Bunyan came around. And Cthulhu thought I was cheating on him. Then back to sad. What a riveting dialogue here. He thinks I'm a common tramp. So he broke my tower, and now I'm out here homeless. Alright, so that's the lore we got so far. Gonna put our little screen back on here so we can, continue the tutorial. We never even got finished. We only got 1:54 into the first tutorial. Lovely.
And as you probably guessed, we're going to select a certain item such as our super potion, increase by a constant of 2, so we get 2 super potions. We'll hit OK. Then we'll do a dialogue that says, I gave you 2 super potions. So I gave you 2 super potions. There we go. So now we know that this NPC has given us 2 super potions. Then we can go into our inventory and check out those 2 super potions we just obtained. So here we are, back in our game. If we go to our NPC, we'll talk to them and they'll say, I gave you 2 super potions. And then when we go into our inventory by pushing the escape button or the X button, we'll find that if we have all these sections, we can go to item, and we'll find, here we have it, our 2 super potions. If we select the item section, we'll get our description right here is a super potion, and we can actually select it and use it on one of our actors. So we'll use it on the warrior. I don't know. It's not working because they're all at full health anyway. So that's the basic point of how you actually use an item or give an item to a certain person in the map. But let's do the same thing, but for skills. Now the skills, as you can probably guess, it's gonna be a little bit more complex, but at the same time, it's gonna be pretty simple. So once again, go to the first tab, go to change skill. We're gonna have a fixed person to use it on, so we'll use it on our main character, Tizglia. We'll set to learn a skill of ice right here. So we'll hit OK. We'll delete our little thing right here, which gives us potions, and instead of saying we got 2 super potions, we'll say Tiz.
So that's what we'll do. We'll have Rapunzel teach us an ability that's used to solve our problems, but really it's going to be something cool that gets us through the game.
Got the ice skill. And that's pretty much all you have to do to give a certain actor an ice skill on the map or throughout the game. So we're going to save that and once again run the game and see what happens. Now, when we go to our new NPC, we'll find that, hey, Tizglia got the ice skill. So if we go into our menu, we'll go to skill, we'll select our actor like that. We'll find that, hey, in our magic section, this person now has the ice skill right here. And it even has a description we input for it, which is, this is a magic skill that damages all the enemies. And so, as you can guess, hooray, it worked. Our skill and our item are both obtainable within our game through events. But that's not all. Now let's learn how to actually create a shop for our items. Now, a shop is going to be a place where you can open it up and they're going to sell you certain items. And fortunately, it's super simple. Just once again, go into your events, go to the 3rd tab, I believe, go to shop processing right here under battle processing, double click, and you can select all the items available. So we can select magic water, standard price, or a specific price. We'll set it standard for now. We'll hit OK. Do another one, so we'll say super.
I will create a shop tonight. Not for this tutorial, though, because we're going to save it for switches.
Potion. We'll sell our super potions. We'll hit OK. We'll go in here. We'll say, OK, let's sell our stimulants. And we'll hit OK. It's now the shop. We'll sell these 3 items. Furthermore, the shop will allow us to sell stuff back to it at half price. But if you want to disable that, just hit purchase only. But if you want to allow the player to be able to sell stuff, disable the purchase only function. Anyway, we hit OK. We hit OK, and we're pretty much good to go. Once again, let's go back into our game. And once we're back in our game, let's go again to our NPC, and they'll open up this shop. We have buy, sell, and cancel. Let's hit buy, and now we can purchase all these items, except we have no gold, so we can't buy any of these items. Probably should have thought about that before we actually did this. But anyway, as you can see, we scroll down to each item, we can see the description at the top, we can see the price, we can see how many we have in the party ourselves right here. We can see our gold, and we also go to the sell tab to sell back any items we have, or weapons, or armors, or key items. And that's really all we have to learn in this tutorial. Let's get some gold and try it out one more time. So to make an NPC give you gold, simply go into them, let's create another event, and we're going to find the change gold, which should be in the first tab at the very top right here. And as you can probably guess, increase by, say, 1,000, and this will make it so the party has 1,000 gold. So now before we even start the shop, our party will be given 1,000 gold, then the shop will start, then we'll have 1,000 gold to spend. So let's once again go and test that out. So now, here we are in our game. If we go into our menu, we'll find that, hey, we don't have any items or anything, but now we can go to this person right here, who's going to give us 1,000 gold, and then open up the shop, as you see right here. Except, there we go. Now we have 1,000 gold right here. We can go to buy. We can purchase any of these items. Let's purchase some stimulants. We could purchase a certain amount, so I'll say 2. let's purchase some magic water. Let's 1 magic water, a lot of super potions, so we'll do like, yes, 8 super potions. But say, oh wait, maybe I don't want the stimulant anymore. Let's go back to sell. We can sell an item, so we'll sell the stimulant for one of them. It's sold for 150 as opposed to 300 because the price gets reduced when you sell back. But anyway, now if we look in our, whoa, we got an encounter. Oops. Well, actually, this is excellent. Let's test out our new items in this random encounter. So we can go down to item and actually select one of these items to use. So we'll select, say, super potion on Marsha. Then this person will use their magic, or they don't have any, we'll just attack. Now we can also use our magic skill, so fire on the bat, orc, or minotaur. We'll do it on the bat. And now I actually see a full-fledged RPG Maker battle. My guy already died because he only had 1 HP. Anyway, that's really all there is for this tutorial. If you enjoyed, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more beginner's tutorials on RPG Maker MV. Until next time, I'm just gonna get this guy with fire. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You get it. RPG Maker tutorial end.
Alright, as I said, we'll save all the shop stuff and the item for a bit, but we'll make some skills and monsters here very quick. Alright, still doesn't fucking work the way I want it to. Okay. And put this back on. It's a nice song, so we'll start from the beginning. Alrighty. So, we said about earlier, talking about shrooms, they belong in the woods. Shroom is 1 above a goblin here. Already has a poison skill, all that makes sense. Which means we're gonna want some antidotes. And then we got a little tree ant right here too. That's perfect. It's the woods. We gotta also make sure to drop the lore in our forest about what the hell is up with all these meteorites. Okay, we'll make some new tropes. I'm just gonna we'll make 3. I mean... Shroom 1. I don't know why they call it a gnome, we know what it is. And for this, in the woods, we'll do side battling. Shroom 2, which will be like 3 of these. And it looks like we already got the background of a wood, so that works. Too bad there's no meteorite. Big tree. Okay, so we want to leave it forest here, but I want the ground. Yeah, that's perfect for that. Then add, you know, a fight to our map here. We go to the forest, edit, troops. We just put in all those ones we made. Shroom 1. Shroom 2. And the big tree. Let's see, wait. Nice thing I always scroll over these to get a reminder of things. I think, wait. I don't remember, do I want bigger or less so I can go look at map number 1? Okay, so 10 is regular Cyrax. I don't want the shrooms on map 01 though. I only want them on the forest map. Shroom 1, 10. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to battle the shrooms really well, because I have water magic and not fire. But that's where Rapunzel's gonna come in handy. So we'll go back to database, go to skills. We've got spray bottle. Now, spray bottle is a multi-water attack. Our fire is gonna be one hit. Copy fire 1. Five. Alright, our first is, well, we're trying to devastate fucking nature. What was the villain from Fern Gully called? No, there wasn't fire in Fern Gully. There was fire in Free Willy 3. Or was it Free Willy 2? One of the Free Willy movies, the ocean caught on fire. Because someone, a gasoline thing, like, broke and set on fire, and the ocean was on fire. And that was insane to me. And we're a cat girl. Neko Flame. That makes sense. Uses cat girl magic and bravery to create a flame. That looks good over there. Plus, yeah, that's what you'd expect. Cast Neko Flame. That's acceptable. Alright. And then we go over here to our wonderful class. Except for we're not going to be learning it this way. We're going to do what he just taught us to. Go to our Rapunzel events over here. Alright, so after she's gone into her sad backstory, we'll finally get in here. Well, I'm sorry to hear about all that. I can't believe Cthulhu. How do you spell it like this, right? Or is it more like... Whatever. Misspellings will happen. I'm an indie game dev. What do you want from me? I can't believe Cthulhu had real estate out here in the woods. But I'm just trying to survive as well. Alright. Now Rapunzel's gonna reply. Oh, your first time in the woods? In a JRPG? Oh yeah, we're getting a bit meta, people. Ooh. So your first time in the woods in a JRPG? You obviously need a fire skill. Oh man, we ended that with a comma and not a period. What the hell? Disgusting. Sad face, Emily. Sadly, I'm a cat girl, not a kitsune girl. So I can't cast fire. And then here's Rapunzel. Oh, I see. I'll make you a deal. If you can find my husband's Cthulhu and tell him I still love him and would never cheat on him, I'll give you this nifty skill. This skill allows you to use fire as a cat. Isn't modern technology amazing? Alright, and then here's where we'll do the thing, like he said. Change armors, change party member. Where's change skill? Fixed Emily Nannington. She's going to learn Neko Flame. Of course, we gotta put normal text here because that'll just happen in the back of the game. It's not gonna say, hey, we just gave you a skill. So we'll just put here, Emily just learns Neko Flame. Rapunzel's still explaining. There, those mushrooms won't give you any problems. And then just one more little sad face, attention-seeking Rapunzel. Now please tell my husband, or I might just take that skill away from you. Now, we don't have to help her at all. Because what's she gonna do? Take the skill back? She actually could. We could make that a reality, but for right now, we're just sticking with our little tutorial track, and this is the thing. Now let's test to make sure it all worked. If we can get to the forest, that is a hard part of it all. At him. Yes, save changes to game. The Sims 97, of course. Ah! The hardest part of the game, getting through the fort. Ah! And I refuse to change it, because it takes skill, you see. This is for real gamers. Okay, I'm just gonna cross all this. Well, let's make sure our encounters work, actually. Got it on 80. Shouldn't be walking through these trees. That'll be fixed later. This is disgusting, actually. That whirlpool on the edge like that. Terrible. Disgusting. Despicable. Ew. Who's this chick? Oh, I gotta figure out how to do the side battling thing correctly again. Poisons. Oh yeah, I got high. And of course, our currency is called boot coin. Haven't found a fun word for XP yet. Alright. Dr. Rapunzel. Sniff, hiccup. Hi. Sorry that I'm so sad. Just ignore me. Alright, I guess I'll be on my way then. No, sorry, what I meant to say was please validate all the bad things that just happened to me by listening to me go on about it. Can you please just hear me out? It'll make me feel better. Ugh, are you serious? I don't have time to listen to some stranger cry in the woods. There were times when my mother would get like this and demand attention from strangers or anyone who would listen, and she would explode with anger if she didn't get attention. Thank you very much. I'll tell you everything now that you've asked me. When I was only 4, my mother refused to take me to Great Clips, so my hair was way too long, you see, and because of that, I became Rapunzel. Since I became Rapunzel, I was either fated to become the Silver Surfer or get kidnapped and married to Cthulhu. Yeah, we got several spellings of Cthulhu, just as I hoped for. So I was fated, I became, or get kidnapped and married to Cthulhu. Cthulhu it was. He locked me in a tower. It was terrible, my whole life, but then it got worse, because this man named, Paul Bunyan came around, and Cthulhu thought I was cheating on him. He thinks I'm a common tramp, so he broke my tower, and now I'm out here homeless. Well, I'm sorry to hear about all that. I can't believe Cthulhu had real estate out here in the woods, but I'm just trying to survive as well. Oh, your first time in the woods in a JRPG, you obviously need a fire skill. Sadly, I'm a cat girl, not a kitsune girl, so I can't cast fire. Oh, I see. I'll make you a deal. If you can find my husband Cthulhu and tell him I still love him and I would never cheat on him, I'll give you the snifty fire skill. The skill allows you to use fire as a cat. Isn't modern technology amazing? Emily learned Neko Flame. There, those mushrooms won't give you any problems. Now please tell my husband or I might take this skill away from you. Now she'll give it again if we click on it again. She'll give us the exact same dialogue. Let's see if we got the fire skill in battle, shall we? Duh. Or I'll be poisoned to death. Oh, what are all these meteorites? Some great graphic designer probably put them here to make me think about war and devastation and destruction of the land. And there's my failed... There it is, Neko Flame. Let's see if it works. Wow, can you believe the mushrooms? What is this? My game sold a lie. I sold a lie because I said them mushrooms will be weak to fire. And then they weren't. But we can actually fix that. Ba-ba-bum, enemies. Gnome. I believe we put this here in traits. We haven't gotten to this part here in tutorials yet. Actually, you know what? We'll get to it in tutorials at some point, so whatever. What we wanted to do worked, and that's what matters, except for we gotta fix this disgusting fucking whirlpool. Ew. Bleh. Fixed. The ocean is fixed. Hooray. Ooh, also, while I'm here. The forest, add it. I'm trying to see how I don't remember how I do the specify battle back. No. I'm trying to remember now how to do side battling because I wanted it to switch all the way through up in the game. I'm not sure. Troops. Room 1. Can't do it in this menu. See, what good is it if I've already... But we can't go back. We can't go back. I'll have to inform myself later on how to get this to work. Or maybe... I don't think we can change it per area. I think we have to commit, because I think it has to be done in the database like this. In the system. Disgusting. Okay, that's the music, sounds, battle system. See, I don't want to do side. I'll fix it. I'll fix it later. All right, it's time for the second tutorial now. What is up on the agenda next? Oh, it looks like we're going to be learning about weapons next. Will I have to make another NPC? I don't know. 133. All right, tutorial number 2.
So, good news everybody, today's tutorial is going to be very simple because we're going over weapons and armors. As you can see, we're in the weapons tab right now, and we're going to go create a new weapon right now to be given to our protagonist. So let's create a new weapon called Cane, oh, where's our Cane? Gun. we'll give it an icon of a gun icon. As you can find right here, we can go to our description. We'll say, this is a shooting weapon. Be careful with it. Because you gotta be careful with guns, you know. Anyway, enough messing around. Let's go through what each and all of these little things we can do with ours are, whatever, etc. Weapon type. You can define all different weapon types in the system tab, or actually types tab, I believe. And then in here, you can make sure there's different weapon types. And of course, each type is going to have different effects, such as some types might give you special ability to use certain skills, other types may give you certain benefits for being a certain actor, all these crazy stuffs. For the time being, just set certain basic groups you can input each weapon into. For example, our gun is going to go into the gun weapon type, believe it or not. Furthermore, you can also set a price. As you can probably guess, this is what's going to be used to sell it in the shop. We'll set to 400. The animation, we'll say the animation when used is going to be a piercing effect, so we'll do pierce effect. And now here comes the parameter changes. Now these are going to be the stat changes that occur when an actor equips this gun. So when the actor equips the gun, they'll potentially gain 20 attack, but they say lose about 10 luck. So negative 10 luck for that, but plus 20 attack for that. And that's really all I have to do. You can use these to manipulate if you're going to gain defense, magic attack, lose agility, lose max HP, etc, etc. Once again, the armor is going to be very similar. Let's create a new armor right now and go do that. So let's first find an...
So, what I'm thinking, dare I say, is for, a weapon, I think it should be a controller. Kind of like I'm a PNG tuber and I got my little controller right here. I think I'm gonna do the same thing. Armor. What is our character wearing? Let me look. Face image, import. Main character. Ew, don't do that. She's wearing like a cloak. We'll just say cosplay garb, fuck it.
Icon this time so we can get some ideas. So let's find a wrench. Yes, a wrench is going to be one of our little armors we can equip. So wrench, description, place in bag for better defense. As you see right there, we'll set it to an armor type. Once again, these can all be defined within the types thing right there. So we'll set it to light armor. The equipment type, we can set the shield, head, body, or accessory. It's gonna be an accessory. Next, we'll set the price to make so whatever it's gonna be sold in shops for, so 30 gold. The parameter changes for what the parameters are gonna be changed to when an actor equips this weapon, item, armor. So we'll set so the defense gets 100. 100 more defense when we're equipping the wrench. And that's really all there is for weapons and armors. Let's actually go back to our map and make sure this person right here gives us our wrench and our, gun. So all I do is go here, go into the events, change weapons or change armors to give weapons or armor. So we'll change weapons, we'll increase our gun by 1, hit OK, and that'll be good to go. We'll go in here, we'll change armors, we're going to set it so we have a wrench increased by 1 and add it into our equipment. And that should be good to go. Let's also add a dialogue that says, gained a gun and wrench. Yeah. Now once we go into the game, we'll talk to the person, we'll get our gun and our wrench, we'll hit OK, we'll go into our inventory, we'll go into our items, we'll go to our weapons, we'll find our gun, we'll go into our armor, we'll find our wrench, and we'll be like, yes, we got our armor, we got our weapon, we are good to go. Let's equip it onto our actor. So we'll go to equip, we'll equip it onto our actor, so we'll do equip weapon, and it's not there. We go to equip, say, our accessory, we can equip the wrench, and as you can see, removing it, so when we highlight it, it says we're going to gain 100 defense right here, so we can equip it. If we try to remove it, we're going to go back to little 46 defense, which means nothing. But let's focus on something for a second. When we go to sword, we can't equip the gun for whatever reason, and that's because weapons are set into groups, and these groups define whether or not an actor can equip this weapon. So what am I talking about? Let's go back to the actors and find out. So if we go back to our actors or our classes for this example, we can make it so a certain actor or class can use a certain weapon. So if we go here, we'll see this this class, hero, can equip a sword, general armor, light armor, and a small shield. Since wrench fell into light armor section, that meant that our actor right here could equip the wrench. But this class hero can't equip say, a weapon that is a gun. So they can't equip the weapon gun thingy unless we make it so they can. And to do so, guess what we have to do? We have to go all the way to this equip section right here. We make so equipped weapon, gun, and now make it so this class, the hero class, can equip gun weapons. So now back in the game, if we go to equipped once again and go to our protagonist, go to equipped, we'll find that, hey, now we can equip one of these guns. It'll increase our attack by 10, we'll equip it, and we'll say, hey, now we have a gun. Yeah! And for the most part, that's really all there is for weapons and armors. Just make it so you have certain weapons, certain armors, make it so certain classes can or cannot equip these weapons or armors to make it so certain limits or not limits at all. Perhaps you want to go down to the types and make so there's only one type of armor, one type of weapon, and every actor can equip this weapon or armor, so you don't have to worry about having all these crazy different limits and confusingness in your game. On the other hand, you can make so it's 100 types of weapons, 100 types of armors, 100 types of equipment types, and then use them to manipulate everything and make it so it's impossible to get anything. And it's up to you what you're going to do in your game. And that's all for this tutorial. I guess that's really it. So like if you liked the video, subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, RPG Maker tutorial end.
Alright, so what I'm going to do with that knowledge now... we're going to create our weapon. I've just, like on the screen, just copied the wooden staff because it's got a bit of a physical attack to it in our PNG2 reducing physical attack, but mostly magic. We're not going to do any magic defense. We'll do 1 point. 1 point, that's it. This is going to be our basic bones first weapon that we get. It's going to be PNG controller. It's not even a real controller. It's eventually gonna get updated to like an SNES controller, Nintendo 64, onwards, I think. A fake, we'll put... I don't know how to change the weapon type yet. I don't know, did that get covered or was I not paying attention? Controller. Clip art controller, not even real, but it will add you some defense. We'll just make all weapons 400 by default. We'll just put it under the stat category. Why does it always freeze? I'll just go regular / effect. Okay, PNG control. It's in types. Okay, there we go. Weapon types. This is what we're going over. 13 right now. I added a new weapon type, but how do I make it is the question. Types. Weapon type. It's just me just going through the menu trying to remember all on my own. I bet you though, if I were younger and I had RPG Maker in like 2000, I would have been addicted and I would have figured out every little thing for this all on my own. But there is something about getting older and you just have less patience for learning tech, I've learned. Okay, since while I'm here, since I can't do side battling, since that's not gonna be a to-do right now, until I get a plug-in or something. Okay, so I can turn it to number 13, but... I can't edit it. Clear it. Skills, classes. Yeah, I don't think I'll give you a weapon. That sucks. I can literally not figure this out on my own, apparently. Keep it at staff then, for now. Yeah, I don't know where we can go in to edit the name or anything of it yet. Stay staff. What we'll do with the PNG controller, how we'll get that, is we'll go back to our sad basement. Now remember how the coffin here had the dialogue about, you know, this is for me and Dad on clearance, we're all gonna die. We should be so thankful though that our mom cared enough to buy a coffin. This is where our weapon's gonna be. Change weapons. Key controller increase by 1. This is where you stash your childhood weapon. Now, good thing we don't have a store though, because we'd be able to get, like, milk this for like 8,000 PNG controllers. Then we got fix one more thing, I believe. Actors, Emily Mannington. Okay, initial equipment. We're not gonna have any initial equipment. Well, I haven't done the armor yet. Alright, staff. Equip weapon. Yeah. And equip armor, light armor. We'll be using this. Actually, cloth armor's fine. I can't think of anything creative unless anybody can. Well, no, okay, so light armor. We're wearing a cloak. This will be Walmart cosplay. Walmart cosplay costume. Elsa Spider-Man outfit. Not worth much defense. But it is light armor, so we'll be able to fucking equip it. And it's from Walmart, so it's only worth 13 Bitcoin. And now we got that in the system. We can go back to actors, initial, split, body, light armor, so you can have that. I'd also remember to give these people some weaknesses or something later. Okay, we have the armor, and then let's see if the coffin gives it to us in the game now. I didn't mean to walk into the Forbidden Woods, though, of course. Go home, go into the basement, the sad, sad basement. Click on the coffin. These coffins Mom bought for me and Dad on clearance. She reminds us every day that there aren't people who are as thoughtful as her. That poor skeleton over there didn't have a mom dog to buy him a coffin. I guess we should be thankful. This is where you stashed your childhood weapon. Is that true? Let me see. PNG controller. But can I equip it? Wait. I can. Boom. PNG controller equipped. My HP is terrible. I'm gonna die. Go out into the field and end it like a hero. Aww. Any Cyraxes coming at me? We can go get Neko Flame while we're at it. If we can get past, like I said, the very first obstacle of the game, getting into the woods. Gotta do a sick turn there. She's gonna be a saddie and then give me Neko Flame. And then I'm gonna get Neko Flame again. I'm gonna get 2 Neko Flames because I made the mistake of clicking on her and we haven't done switches yet. Which is what'll stop, you know, repeat dialogue. Somebody once told me, gonna beat up some goblins. If we get to level 2, we get our healing spell too. Probably test that. There it is. And I died. As I deserved. Alright, so we got our weapon. We made it. We got the PNG controller. We're going to be of the controller class. So, on to the next tutorial, number 3. Woo!
Now when it comes to creating your battles within your RPG Maker MV game, there's one final thing you need to keep in mind, which is the states. No, not those states. I'm referring to the states which are these states. The passive effects, the basic abilities, the status effects. It's hard to explain, but you get the idea. Nearly every RPG has some form of states. For example, we have the knockout, which is what the actor is going to be afflicted with when they're knocked out. There's blind, which causes blindness and causes a hit rate to be lowered. There's confusion, rage, silence. Oh yeah, all this crazy. You get the idea just by looking at these states, what they do, and what they're meant to be. And in today's tutorial, we're going to be looking at how we can create our own state.
Hi, dude. I am having a nice night. I'm gonna figure out, I think what we'll do with the states is we'll attach it to the PNG controller and we'll give it a little something special. A little something to make the fake graphic controller. Maybe it'll do something parasocial if you get attacked with it physically. I don't know. Something to keep in mind. Start plotting.
And what all these crazy little functions mean and do. So let's go to change maximum. Let's create another one. And let's get straight into it. We'll call this one my state. There we go. We'll choose an icon to be shown on the player when the state is afflicted on them. And we'll make it this flask right here, I guess. There we go. Now, part 1, the most important part of a state is its restriction. Now, restriction forces a player to perform a certain action or no actions at all, depending on what their restriction is. So, for example, if it's set to none, this player can select their moves and there won't be a problem. But if it's set to attack an enemy, as you see right here, then the player is not going to be able to choose any move. Instead, they're going to be forced to attack an enemy every turn when they had this state afflicted on them. Same applies to attack anyone, attack an ally. So if you want to create some sort of confusion or mind manipulation state, you'd use these restrictions. And finally, is also cannot move, which just means this player's turn is going to be completely skipped when they had this state afflicted. Now, the way restrictions work is that if you have multiple states afflicted on a single actor, the one that's the lowest on the list takes priority.
Doesn't seem to be anything that can cause us benefit, so we won't put restriction for now.
So for example, if you have one that says attack an enemy and another one that says attack an ally, the player is going to be forced to attack an ally since that one takes priority. Now, don't get that confused with the actual priority right here, which actually just refers to what's displayed. So what I mean by that is that this can be a number between 0 and 100, as you see right here. And depending on what has the highest priority, that's what's going to be shown on the actor. It doesn't necessarily mean that that actor doesn't have the states. It's just that there's a limited amount of spaces that the icons for the states can be shown. And so if you want a very important state to be shown on the actor, you'd give it a higher priority. But if you have something less important, say blindness, I mean, it is important, but if you have multiple different states, it would not be that high as compared to something like rage, which has 70, confusion, which has 75, sleep, which has whoa, it should be 90. I switched it for some reason. But yeah, sleep has a 90 priority. And so for our state, we'll set it to something like 20, which means if we have only this state, we'll see that we have it through this icon. But if we have like 5 or 6 states, we're probably not going to have any indication that this state has this state because the icon is not shown because our priority is that low. Did that make sense? Hopefully it did. Anyway, next comes this SV or side view battler things. What I mean by this is that the side view battlers can have special animations for...
Ooh, I think what we'll do is we'll do a small little counter attack, hopefully. I don't know, that'd be kind of, we'll see what I'm feeling.
If your player has this state afflicted on them. So for example, we have 4 motions. Normal, which is the default motion the player is going to be moving in. Abnormal, which means the player is going to have a like different stance and movement while they're standing in a side view battler. We'll get into that later. You can see these just by testing them out. We have sleep, which means the player will be lying on the ground at sleeping when this is occurring, and dead, which means the player will just be lying there dead when this state is afflicted. Yep. And we also have the SV overlay, which is going to be a small animation that plays over top the side view battler when it's going. So you can see all the lists. You can just choose one, select silence, go into a battle, check out how it looks. We'll get into that later. But for now, let's continue. Now we have the removal conditions. Now this is going to be conditions in which, if the condition is true, the state gets removed. So a basic one you probably want to have for most of your states is remove at battle end, which means the state's going to be removed when the battle ends. Another one you have is remove by restriction, which means that if this state gets overwritten, like its restriction, if it gets another state that has a higher restriction than this one, then this state, the lower state, is going to be removed completely if this is checked. If this is unchecked, it'll still keep the state on the actor even if the restriction is higher, and the other effects will still take into account, such as the traits and all the stuff here. Furthermore, we also have just a timer for how long it'll take till the state is removed. We can have action end, and this will be a certain amount of turns until it ends, or we can have turn end, and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be identical.
I don't know what we're making yet, but I'm going to do turn ends 3. 1 to 3 turns, whatever it does.
Pretty much. Except action end means it'll be removed after the player acts in the turn, but turn end means it'll only be removed at the very end of the turn. And this is really just going to be based off of your mechanics in your game. Do you want all your states and everything to be prioritized based on each turn, or do you want everything to happen in the moment when it's happening? But anyway, like I said, if we set something like action end and we set this to like 3 and 3 and 7, this will mean that this state will be at least on the player for 3 turns, and it can have a maximum of 7 turns, and it can be anything in between. If we set something like 3-3, that means this state will be guaranteed to have 3 turns and only 3 turns when the player is afflicted with it. Now, down here we have the remove by damage. This will mean that there's a certain amount of chance every time the player is damaged for the state to be removed. Right now, this will make it so there's a 100% chance that this state will be removed when the player is damaged by it. So if we set it to something like 20, there'd be a 20% chance that this state will be removed when the actor is hit with a skill or item or damage anyway from the enemies. Oh, okay. Next comes walking. Now, this will occur to states that you can have outside of battles, and this just simply means this is how many steps it'll take for this state to be removed from the actor. So if we set it to like 20 steps, that means this state will be removed from an actor after walking on the world map for 20 steps. Next comes the messages. These will just be a simple battle log messages that appear on the very top when the player is afflicted with the state, inflicted with the state persists, and it's removed. So pretty much what you do is just say, if the actor's name goes here, it'd be like, actor has obtained the my state.
I am going to call it my state because it's our special weapon. It's the beginning of our RPG Maker adventure, so... has been given the gift of my state. An enemy won't get inflicted with it. This is just for us.
State. Yeah. If the enemy's afflicted with it, you can do something else. So we'd say, like, has afflicted the state. We could put, like, got da. Well, I'm just gonna leave it. Got the my. This is a mess. But anyway, if the state persists, this is what appears if the state continues on each and every turn. So if it's still on a certain turn, this message will appear. So we'll say if the state persists, still has my state. And when the state is removed, this message will play. So it could say,
You're still if the state persists, is still honored by the gift of my state.
Target names. We can do apostrophe s. My state was removed. Yeah. So as you can see,
if the state is removed, my state was removed. It's all downhill from here. Just sadness, you know?
it's not really that complex, but it does take a lot of explanation to explain how this affects the battle mechanics of the game. Now, we did all this, but we actually haven't done the most important part, which is the actual effects that the state afflicts onto the actor, which is going to be used through this traits part right here. Now, if you may have noticed, this traits section has been reoccurring a lot in all of our little tutorials. For example, in the actors, we have a traits bar right here. Same thing occurs in the classes, as you see right here, the weapons, as you see right here, the armors right here, and finally the states, which we're working on right now. Now, as you can probably guess, all these traits all affect the actor depending on whether the actor has this item, weapon, armor, class, etc. And for the most part, if you go in here, you'll find that, oh my gosh, there's so many different traits to choose from. And we'll actually go into the next video, where we'll actually review each and every trait and its effect. But for the time being, we're just going to take something very simple, like go in here, go to parameter, attack is times 50%, which means when this player is affected by this state, its attack is going to be reduced by 50%, meaning it has only half the attack now.
What we're gonna do is parameter magic attack what does it mean though? Rate of change. Wait, hold on, what'd you just do, bro?
You'll find that, oh my gosh, there's so many different traits to choose from. And we'll actually go into the next video, where we'll actually review each and every trait and its effect. But for the time being, we're just going to take something very simple, like go in here, go to parameter, attack is times 50%, which means when this player is affected by this state, its attack is going to be reduced by 50%, meaning it has only half the attack now. Yeah, so let's once again review exactly what the state is. It's called My State. It has this icon. If the player has this state, he cannot move at all, which means all of his turns are skipped. In terms of being shown on the player's actual screen, it has a priority of 20, which means it's pretty low and probably other icons will override it. Its motion will be dead, which means the player will be lying there dead. It'll have a silence overlay, which means it'll have the silence icon flying above its head. We have a condition that removes at the battle end, which means at the end of the battle, all these states, for all the people that have this state will have it removed. We have remove by restriction checked off, which means it can't be removed by any other states. Another way it can be removed is that if the player has it for 3 turns in a battle, then it'll be removed. It can also be removed by having the player be hit, and there's a 20% chance it will be removed. Finally, if you somehow get this state outside of battle, you can remove by walking 20 steps. It has all these messages that can be played, and the effects it does have on the player is that it removes 50% of the player's attack. Oh, okay, so the real question is now, how do you actually get one of these states onto an actor or enemy? And the answer is, you have multiple choices, but one good way to do it is just go to his skills, go to the effects, so we'll go to like skill 11, give it an effect that does state, add state, and just add the state you wish to use, 100% chance, or you can make it like 50% chance. And this makes it so that when this skill is used on an enemy or actor, it's going to add the state, my state, or at least it's going to have a 50% chance to do so when this attack hits. Another way to change a state is go to the change state right here for an event, set a certain actor or the entire party to gain a certain state, add or remove the state, and then select the state you wish to use. So for this example, if we set this to this event right here will make it so this actor will add my state to that person. So this will happen when this event is run. And so that's pretty much all for this video. It's very confusing, but I would highly recommend just going through and testing out each and every state and seeing how they work in your game. Next video, we'll be going over the final part of the battle mechanics, which will be the traits of your armors, weapons, your states, your classes, and your actors, and how they all interact with each other, and what each and all those stats and weird things do. But that's all for this tutorial. Until next time, RPG Maker Tutorial. End. Oh.
Well, the thing is, I made a state, but I kind of wanted it for the weapon when the weapon makes a physical attack. State rate, state resist. Let's see what this does. State applied is an additional attack. Okay, so this is what I want. I want my state. Yeah, I don't know if this will work. Here, I'll take that screen off very quick. They have no idea if this will work. Did it sort of in the background of playing that? Come on. RPG, there we go. Sims 97 Catgirl Diaries having problems loading there. Right, so we need to get our weapon. Coffin basement. Go attack some goblins or shrooms or something with it. Ah! Skills! We gotta make sure to make that sign say something about your skills. That's actually where we should have had the item, was in a chest over there, like, congrats for your skills. Oh, the big boy. Oh wait, the hit got... Oh no, I need it applied to me, not them. Uh-oh. That's no good. Okay, so yeah, attack state would state applied is additional. Rate of change per specified parameter. Okay, this is state rate. Changes the probability that the use of a skill or item will succeed in... Is that perhaps it? They're add skills, not states. Alright, well, it has to be at state rate then. Try this again and hope that it doesn't help the employee, help the... This is what we already did though, wasn't it? No, because we put attack state. This is state rate. We will do this again. My state, 100%. Fly. And every time we have to go back and fix something, why don't I just reward myself here and make an edit? Every single time. We need another one of these signs. Be right here. Wait, actually, do I need a tile? I might be able... Yeah, I might be able to make a sign. I keep forgetting this through... The nicer graphics are sometimes actually in the events. Nothing. There might be a signpost on here. Yeah, because... Okay, yeah, we can still do this. This is pretty nice. Congrats on getting in the forest. And not exiting. You are elite gamer. There, that's your reward. That's your compliment that you get for being able to get in here. Well, let's roll it up again. Should we even be able to be in the woods yet, though, technically, without talking to our mother? What kind of game is this? Okay, we did it! Ooh. Aw. I gotta fix that. I gotta make sure player... touch action, whatever. Rapunzel, teach me some fire. Okay, Neko Flame for me. Let's go beat up mushrooms. Now let's see if we can get our second skill. I'm also running over pyramids. Look at the war. Look at the devastation. So nice that they put music in here since I haven't yet. That's gonna be a fun time. There you are, little buddy. Neko Flame. Oh, we're supposed to be... Oh, we didn't get our weapon, though. I forgot. Don't poison me, I'm just a cat girl. What the hell? There, take that, you little fucker. 10 XP. That's what I'm worth. Getting beat up in my own game. So sad. To get my weapon now I go. Whoa, did you see that little light of poison? But for why? Oh, I'm gonna get 2 of them. There's no store to sell anything at though yet. We'll be making our store tonight, I think. Okay, equip. Equip that beautiful PNG controller of ours. Now, it might be dead before I can get this to work, but we'll keep testing. Dun, 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 dun. Well, now it's gonna reset due to my trickery. And there's not even a Pokemon Center in sight. What shall we do? Will we do Pokemon Centers? Will we do inns? Or will we be like, no, loser, you gotta eat fast food and prepare meals like the rest of us? What would a good decision be? Y'all ever play games where you have to like pay a heavy cost for an all-party heal? Is it ever worth it? What do you think? Okay, we'll try hitting things with a PNG controller again. Go to the house first. There's that chest that no one will ever get. I think our main character is just fucking adorable, really. She just needs to get away from her toxic family to understand how great she is. It really is the beginning of a wonderful character arc. She'll figure this out in self-esteem. Ah! Ah, no! Why must it... Okay, whew. Still haven't gotten to read about how we're an excellent game war yet. Alright, got our Neko Flame. Let's beat up mushrooms. Goblins, whatever. Kinda serene, it's kinda lovely here. I think when the war's over, that we'll get a nice park put in for the kids. Once the river's dealt with, and we're allowed to have society again. Ah, not the gnomes. Use the spray bottle on the nasty troll. Maybe we'll actually get a level up for once. That'd be lovely. You really actually need to figure out when the player will get to... how many battles it'll take them to get to level 2. It's important information. Yeah, physically. Okay. Whoa. Hey, I'm trying to test something. Don't kill me. Nope, hasn't supplied a state yet, so I don't think what I did worked. Know what? Just for shits and giggles, for right now, we will be a little coward. Take it off of the weapon. We made the state, that's what's important. We'll figure out, that's gonna be one of the things we need to troubleshoot, is how to get that state in on something, or we failed if we can't use my state. And raise our magic defense by just a teensy bit. No, save. Well, let's at least fix this sign while we're here. Priorities, same as characters, action button. There, at least that is fixed. Alright, I'm gonna take a break, few minutes break, and then when we come back, we'll be ready for tutorial number 4. And we'll hopefully be able to fix all these little things and work on a shop and get where we need to go to still keep learning. We've obviously got things I need to... If we don't see them in these tutorial videos, how to put state on a weapon, how to change weapon type, like put your own custom in, we'll figure all that out. But for right now, I'm going to take a small little break. Be back in a few minutes. Not that music, that's some foreboding music.
A little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel. But it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. A little bit insecure, a little unconfident, cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. I am what you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. No, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me
All right, so let's do a very quick recap of where we are, what I'm thinking. We are going to have one of those plots of overcoming self-worth and self-esteem. All the kids, all the emo kids seem to be all over that anyway. Because we got to recover from all of Mom Dog's abuse. We got that. There's some kind of brewing drama going on with, you know, Rapunzel and whatnot. That's a whole drama right there. Cthulhu, Paul Bunyan lore. And we don't have to deal with that right away at the beginning of the game. That can be something that's eased into the plot as we go. Continuous story. Because we need all the fetch quests and everything to be highly political and highly dramatic from here on in. So that way, when we finally fulfill the ultimate fetch quest of getting the piece of wood, it really feels good. That's the plan. We've also got the kid that's in the basement and Fuon's messenger that needs taken care of. We'll get to all that. Right now, it's time for the next tutorial. Aren't we excited? Tutorial number 4. We'll be learning about traits, which will help us figure out the states, hopefully.
Here we have them, traits. If we look in the very top right of this box right here, we'll find our special little traits box located right here. We mentioned these quite a few times throughout the previous tutorials, but today's video is going to be focusing on purely traits. And there is a lot of information to go through. For the most part, traits can be best described as traits. They're just various aspects that an actor or enemy can hold throughout the game. Now, if you may have remembered, there's going to be a lot of things that take into account for giving traits to your actors. So for example, an actor, say for our, I'm just gonna call us T from now on, our T actor, this person can have the traits from this box right here, but they'll also have the traits from their class, which is a hero class, which we'll find right here, which are gonna be all these. Furthermore, since this person's gonna be holding a weapon and armors like you can see down here, they're gonna have all the traits from all the weapons, such as a sword right here, and all the armors they're equipping, so right here. And finally, they're going to have all the traits from the state they could have afflicted with. So for example, if they're afflicted with sleep, they're going to have all these traits right here. And that's pretty much the gist of how traits work. Pretty much an actor's traits is going to be the sum of everything they have currently equipped or afflicted with. And finally, we're also going to have the traits for the enemies. Since the enemies aren't going to be really holding weapons or armors or classes, you don't have to worry about those. So pretty much you can put all the enemies' traits you want in here. Though if you do afflict an enemy with a state, they will still have the state's traits also. But enough of this. Let's go back to our actors tab and let's actually get started in going through each and every trait in existence. And yes, it's going to be a lot of information. I would not try and recommend memorizing these all at once. I would recommend...
I still, to this day, am hovering over things to remember what they did, and I haven't solved the mysteries, so we'll get educated. Let's get our context clues thinking hats on, ladies and gentlemen.
Either just skipping the video if you're not really interested in making a very in-depth battle system, or just sitting through and trying to pick up some things here or there that you really stood out for you. And like I said just now, most of these are going to be based in the battle system. And so a lot of people say like, hey, you can't really make a really complex or your own unique battle system in RPG Maker MV. And to some degree, that's true. But the truth is, if you become a master of these traits, you can create some pretty unique game aspects that a lot of normal RPG Maker games won't usually contain. And so, enough wasting time, let's get straight into these traits. And we're going to start right off with the rate tab right here. And the rate tab is going to refer to effects that affect how the actor or enemy takes damage or attacks. So for example, this first one right here is the element rate. As you can see, we have all the elements listed in our game. If you want to make your own elements, what you do is you go down to types and you just create your own elements right here. But anyway, what's going to happen is these element trait right here things going to allow you to set a certain trait for the element like receiving damage rate. So the best way to describe it is if I put 50% right here and I put, say, water, this means this actor will now receive 50% the normal damage you would normally get for being hit with a water damage skill. If you recall also, to take damage from a skill, you set the element right here and set it to whatever you...
Well, yeah, we gotta start keeping these all in mind. I'm on the goblin right here, and I would like it to be weak to water. So I'm gonna turn it to, like, 200. Think that's how that works. We'll find out when I test. But while we're here, we're gonna go to actor. And we're also, since we're a kitty cat, Little cute kitty cat. Oh, wait. Equip armor. You equip light armor. You also... I think I got all this set up for class already, but I just want to make sure. In case she changes her class and I'm dumb and I forget in the future, I'm going to make sure I got all of her... You know, her default stuff here. Equip armor. Equip weapon. Staff for right now until I fix that. Emily Nannington has her Walmart cosplay costume by default. But now I want to put trait, element rate, water. She has she's just 25% more. Well, no, I think that'd be like negative 20. I'll see what he says.
You want, but yeah, enough wasting time. Go back here, let's go in here. So that's what an element rate does. If we set it 200, they take double damage from water skills. So if you want to create like some sort of like weakness or strength system from like Pokemon where like 200 would be super effective, 50% would be like not very effective, 0% would make so they're completely unaffected.
Okay, so yeah, think Pokemon. So what's 100% mean then?
By a skill that has water damage. But yeah, that's really up to you. Next comes the buff rate. We're going to skip this for now.
150 then, if we're talking Pokemon logic, and 200% is super effective, which is what I put on the goblins there, then 150% would be like your stab move for when you got a Pidgey and you use tackle, it being normal type, right? So I'd say 150 would be good for weaknesses for her. But since she's a magical Neko girl, Fire doesn't work at all. 0%. She is completely immune to fire skills. Unless we make a boss with some kind of bullshit blue fire skills, so that way she can get hits. And then we'll go to enemies again, and I'm gonna go to our gnome. Make it fucking do super effective against fire as it should be. And same with the tree ant. Okay, we already got that. Awesome, back to the tutorial then.
Because we haven't really gone over the buffs, but it works the same way as a state rate, which is this is going to affect the chance in which this state will actually affect you if an opponent attempts to put it onto an actor or enemy. So what I mean with this, if I say put my state here, then put say 50%, that means if this person's ever hit with a skill that would normally always have a 100% chance of afflicting my state, this would reduce it down to 50%. So if we go to one of our skills we created in the previous tutorial, the one right here it is, our ice skill, it has a 50% chance of adding my state. Now if we go back to our actor, we also said so it has a 50% rate for adding my state. So if someone tried to use the ice skill against this actor, 50% times 50% would make it so it's 25% chance for this actor to be afflicted with my state if they use a skill that afflicts my state. Yep, it's that confusing. But finally we have an easy one, which is state resist, which just makes it so that this actor or enemy cannot be afflicted with this state. So if we put something like sleep, that'll make it so this actor right here cannot be afflicted with sleep whatsoever. And that's pretty simple, and that's pretty much it. Next we go into the param tab. Another fun tab's gonna be very fun to.
Okay, so maybe the special state I made won't work out, but we can still add something cute to the PNG controller here. Well, maybe when he gets to it, but we'll add something special to it. That's why I'm on it.
Explain. Right here we're going to find a list of all the stats in our game, or parameters I guess you'd call them. And these will just simply be the ability to manipulate them by a certain percent. So if we set this to 50%, that means this actor's magic attack will be multiplied by 50% or halved. So if this actor has 20 magic attack, this trait will cause it to have 50. And now if this person has multiple of these, say like one on the actor, one on the class, one on the enemy, one on the like weapon or armor, they're all gonna be multiplied together. So if I put like magic attack times 50 here, then put like magic attack times 300 on like a weapon, those two together would make magic attack times 150, I believe. because 300 times 50% will equal 150. Yeah, just for the most part, this allows you to manipulate the base parameters. Next comes the EX parameters. Now these are going to be a special type of parameter that by default will start at 0%, but you can add more pretty much. So what we have here is hit rate, evasion rate, critical evasion, magical reflection, counterattack, HP regeneration, MP regeneration, TP regeneration, hit rate. This is the chance that the skill or item you're using is going to hit, assuming it's not set to certain hit. So if this is set to...
Actually, we might do MP generation. Yeah, actually 10%, some low, but like something that makes the PNG controller memorable, that it's the first weapon you can find in the game and it does something this helpful, because nothing else is going to do that. That's going to make it stand out and be special, I think.
100%, as you see right here. That means there's going to be a 100% chance of everything hit perfectly. But if you look in our little class place right here, you notice that by default, our class is going to be given a 95% rate, which means there's going to be a 95% chance of the move hitting. Now, next comes the evasion rate, as you look right here. Evasion rate. Now, evasion rate and hit rate are two separate things, actually. First is you can calculate the hit rate and determine whether or not the actor is going to hit someone. Next, it calculates the evasion rate and checks to see if the target evades something. So if we set this to 50% right here, this will mean there's a 50% chance of this actor to evade an enemy's attack, which, like I said before, is going to be unaffected by the enemy's hit. It's just two separate calculations. Also want to keep in mind of the magic evasion. Now the magic evasion is going to be the same thing as normal evasion. The difference is a hit type. If we go to our skills right here, we'll find that there's a hit type between magical attack, physical attack, and certain hit. Certain hit guarantees the move is going to hit. Physical attack, that's going to be affected by normal evasion, and magical attack is going to be affected by magical evasion. So using these three types of hits, you can customize a certain type of evasion system in your game. So if you want to have a skill or state that causes like 100% physical evasion, then that person's going to dodge all physical attacks, but it's not going to be able to dodge all magical attacks. Finally, we're going to go down to the next one, which is going to be critical rate, the chance of which you're going to do a critical evasion. This subtracts from the user's critical rate. So for example, if this person's attacked by an enemy that has a 50% critical rate, then this critical evasion will reduce that critical rate to 0%, since 50 minus 50% equals 0. Furthermore, we also have magical reflection. This is a chance in which if the enemy uses a magical attack, it'll be reflected back at them. So if we did 20% like this means there's a 20% chance that when a magic hit move is used on this actor, it's going to be reflected. Counterattack is the same thing, only it applies to physical moves. Next we have HP regeneration, which is going to be amount of HP that's regenerated every turn. If we set it to 5%, it's going to be 5% HP regenerated every turn. If we set it to negative 5%, it'd actually be removing HP. So you use this for something like poison, or you'd use this for something like some sort of magical healing item or healing sword, or armor, or state, or something that gains the HP. And the same thing applies to MP and TP, just you can set to a positive or negative number.
I've of course got the Walmart cosplay costume pulled up, so I don't know how helpful it'll be with whatever we do for it.
To make the player or enemy gain or lose TP or MP throughout each turn. Whew. And finally comes SP parameters. These are by default start at 100% and can be brought down to like 0 or brought up to 1000 like so. I think so, right? No. Well, anyway, let's go through. So target rate, if this is set to 100, that means it's going to be a just normal 100 target rate. But if we set this to something like 150, it's going to increase the chances in which an enemy is going to attack this actor. So if it's set to 150, it's going to be a greater chance. If it's going to be set to 50, it's going to lower the chance. So you can use this to create like a state that decreases the target rate to make so it doesn't get hit as much, or increase the target rate to make so the enemies attack this person a lot more often. The guard effect, this is going to be how effective guard will be. 100% means it's just going to be the default guarding effect, which is going to divide all damage by 2. But if we set it to 200%, it's going to double that. So it's going to be divided by 4, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it'll double the effect of the guard effect. And the guard effect occurs when you use the skill guard and use this specific tag right here, which is guard state 100%. So going back to our actors, going back here, we're going to go back to our SP parameters. Next is recovery effect. this is how effective recovery will be. 100% will be the default amount. But we set it to 200. That means it'll get double recovery. So it can once again make like an armor that gives double recovery than usual. Also have pharmacology. While recovery effect should affect, say, like, I'm not sure what this affects actually. Wow, this is bad. Well, I believe recovery effect affects.
Well, I'm gonna assume that pharmacology is how much healing items do. If we got a Walmart cosplay costume, we can up that a little because we rule the savings onto you, you see. I got these notes here. I gotta just write these down so we don't forget these. Like, why do I have to write things on paper? If you all have any suggestions, if you all want fucking songs, music, anything you want, just shout it out and I'll write it in the notes in the armor section. That's where I'll check for sure. Roll on the savings to you.
Pharmology, or whatever this is, affects items, and recovery effect affects skills. I'm so sorry, I should know this. But anyway, MP cost.
Okay, that's what we want. Woo! Parameter, special parameter. Pharmacology. Not too much savings. We'll give you 20%. It's savings onto you.
Cost rate. If this is set to 100, MP is going to cost normal amount defined in the skills tab. But if you set to 200, it's going to cost double. Or if you set to 50, it's going to cost half. So once again, you create an armor, a weapon, a state that like restricts or increases the amount of MP costing for each skill. Same thing applies to TP charge rate, except it's going to be how much TP is charged every time the player is damaged. Once again, it's going to be 100% for the default amount of TP that's recharged every time the player is hit, or it can be set to something like 10 to make it so it's really low, 200 or 299 to make it so that's going to make it so the TP is recharged a lot more when the player is hit with an attack. Physical damage, this is going to increase the damage in which an actor or enemy receives physical damage. So if it's set to 200, this actor will receive double physical damage. If it's set to 50, like so, this actor is going to receive half of normal physical damage. Same applies to magical damage. Remember, these are both affected by the hit type, so physical hit, magical hit. Floor damage, this is going to affect how much damage is taken from outside of battles, such as if you have an event in which a player walks onto, it causes damage to the entire party. If you set this to 50, it halved that damage. If you set it to 200, it doubled the damage from the floor. And finally comes experience. By 100%, this will just be the normal amount of experience. 50%, this will make it so this person gains, just say, half of the normal experience when they win a battle or whatever. And 200% will make it so this person will gain double experience. And so you can use this in, like, once again, like an armor that we want to have, like, super increased experience. Perhaps you have an actor with, like, a super ability that makes sure they gain double experience or half experience. You can use this.
We could use all of this to do the most important thing ever, which is create the Final Fantasy X spear grid. But that might be more advanced for later.
Next is the attack tab, and all of these right here affect your normal attack. Now to determine what a normal attack is, if we go to our skills, we'll find this little thing right here called add state normal attack. And this is a special built-in state that says that, hey, this skill is going to be a normal attack and it's going to be affected by the traits that affect normal attacks. So going back here, going back to the attack tab, we'll find that we have the attack element, which is going to affect the element that's going to be used in terms of damage for your attacking. Attack state, which means the chance in which when this user uses their attack, there's a chance that it will actually add a state.
So does this mean that this user hates all anime?
This user is gonna have to make it in the game at some point, of course. But it literally is user, the caster of a spell, so you know, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to resist the urge.
Using this attack. So if you created a special sword that may give poison by 60% every time they use a normal attack, you can do that. Attack speed is just going to add speed onto your normal speed whenever you use a normal attack. So we set it to 200. This actor, or if you use it on an enemy, that enemy will gain an extra 200 speed when using their normal attack. And finally, attack times. This can be additional times an attack is used. So for example, if this is set to 3, and the player uses their normal attack skill, or a skill that has an attack flag, that means it's going to gain an additional attack times. Whew. Next comes the skills. Now this is pretty simple.
Wait, that sounds fun. Database, classes, PNG tuber. Let's add that trait. Attack times. +2. That sounds fun. That's our special trait. We get 2 attacks, because we're cool. If that comes too OP, we'll change it, though.
Similar to how weapons have certain types that require you to have them equipped, the same thing applies to skills. Currently, by default, there's only 2 types, which is magic and special, but by adding this, you can make so, hey, now this actor can use magic skills, or they can use special skills right here. Furthermore, you can also seal skill type, which keeps them from using any types of skills that they may have in one of these 2 things. Add skill, which is going to just add the skill to the player's arsenal of skills when this thing is equipped. So if it's set to add skill heal on like a weapon or armor, equipping that weapon and armor gives that skill. And once again, seal skill, which of course, once again, it makes it so if you have that skill and you equip this weapon, armor, or have this state, you can no longer use that skill. Oh. Next comes the equip tab, same thing. Equip weapon, you can choose what types of weapons this player is allowed to equip. Equipped armor, you can select what types of armor this player is allowed to equip. Lock equipped, this makes it so that a specific slot on your actor's armor pretty much is not able to be changed. So if this is set to shield, that means this actor cannot change their shield. And if we also have the seal equipped, instead of not being able to change it, they actually can't use anything on that specific thing. So if you create like a double-handed sword, you can like...
Wouldn't it be fun to create a weapon that's like, you just pick it up, equip it, and you're like, oh, you know what? Oh, I got a cooler weapon, a stronger weapon, and then you can't. Like, once you equip that weapon, it activates a switch or something, and you're just locked out. The curse of it is that it's a mid. That you get it, like, it's super powerful. Like, let's say we'll use Pokemon, because that's an easy scale to watch. It's Cerulean City, and you got, like, Blastoise. That's cool. But then when Mega Evolutions are a thing, fuck you, you still Blastoise. What? You had no Z moves, none of the cool stuff. You're still stuck in Gen 1, but at least you enjoyed that Blastoise in fucking Celadon or some shit, I guess.
Seal the shield type right here, making it so this actor cannot use a shield type, assuming you have that trait within the sword weapon traits. Finally, we also have slot type, and this just makes it so you can have a dual wielding, which means the shield is going to be replaced with another weapon slot. It's just another built-in thing that you can use. Finally, we get to the others tab. Now here comes a very complex thing called action times. Now action times, for each time an actor has an action times on like a weapon, an armor, or a class, it's all going to be separate, and each one's going to be calculated separately. But what do, you ask? Well, they have a chance of adding another action for your turn. So if this is set to 50%, this means this actor, when they have a turn, there's a 50% chance they'll get another turn. Now if they had 50% on here and then 50% on the sword, that means both chances will be run separately. So there's a chance that they get 3 attacks if like all 3, if they have the normal attack, plus the actor attack trait and the weapon attack trait plus, then you'll have 3. On the other hand, it's possible that 1 is true and 1 is false, so then you only have 2 attacks, or perhaps both of the chances fail and you are stuck with the default 1 attack action thingy. Next comes the special flags. These are just very special flags that can affect like an actor or an enemy. So auto battle, make it so this actor will automatically battle for you and don't have to touch anything. Guard, this will mean that this is going to be like a special guarding state and the actor's going to have the guard effect turned on for them. We can have substitute. This means this actor will actually sometimes guard and protect certain actors when they're at low HP. And finally, we have preserve TP. And this makes so this actor preserves their TP outside of battle. By default, TP is randomized and brought down to a very low number at the beginning of each battle, but if you preserve it on an actor, then that makes it so TP is saved outside of battle. We also have collapse effect. This is actually specific for enemies and can customize different collapse effects for each enemy. And we also have party ability. This makes it so this party gets a special ability if this actor is inside the party. Encounter half makes it so the encounters are half of the chance of normal encounters. Encounter none removes all encounters. Cancel surprise makes it so it's impossible for a surprise enemy attack. Raise preemptive means it raises the chances in which the actors may have a preemptive attack on the enemies. Gold double means the amount of gold gained from killing enemies is doubled. and double item and drop item double makes it so it's double the amount of dropped items from defeating enemies. Alright, so here we have it. We're all done. I don't really know what else to say. I would recommend also checking out the help file right here. So go to help, contents, and here you can actually find a list of all those traits written out in text form. Once opened, you can actually scroll down this left side and go to where it says how to set traits. And this will give an explanation of all the traits. It won't give as much in-depth explanation as I attempted to give in this video, but if you ever get lost or confused, I'd recommend just coming here to dig a very general explanation. And if you have any questions,
Remember, kids, always use the help tab on a operating system game software. It'll always give you... I don't know why I have a frog throat right now. I don't know what I was trying to say. The help tab is sometimes very useful, because you don't have to rely on that pesky AI to give you the wrong answers over and over and over again. Just look it up in a book.
ask in the comments below. I know I didn't do a perfect job of explaining things, but I hope I gave you a general idea of how each thing worked. And that's all for this video. Until next time, RPG Maker tutorial, and...
Oh, hooray! Switches is gonna be the exciting part, but before we get to switches, let me turn off this here screen with the annoying cascade, blah. But before we get to switches, we'll do a little playthrough, and we're gonna create a save file that's after we get our weapon and after we get the Neko Fire, just so we don't have to start anew each time. And it'll let us see if we tested these parameters that we just put in. Sims 97, let's go. Lovely piano jazz music we got there for the start. Ah. These coffins, blah blah blah. Oh no, we have two of them. That's no good. Because I'm thinking that our first, since we want all of our fetch quests to be like extremely important. I think our first trigger to get in the tower is gonna involve like getting a forgery kit, like what was suggested earlier, a forgery kit to make a receipt from like Menards or something to get the guy out of the way of the tower. And we'll just buy that at the store, but it'll be hella expensive. So it'll basically, we're gonna grind. It's saying, hey player, you gotta grind. Here's our PNG controller. And let's go grind indeed. Get some Bitcoin. Then we'll use whatever Bitcoin we've collected at the end of this to decide how much the weapon should be, actually. Let's not die, though. Let's save right now. Oh, I forgot about the hard part. Oh, got it. Dun 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 dun. Rapunzel, what up? Give me some fire. Well, yeah, we'll see if the parameters and the weaknesses have worked here. Switch. When we get the switches, we'll be fixing all that, and they won't be doing multi-test text. Already got something set up for the switch test over there. Their Neko Flame. Alright. She talked this up. She said the mushrooms will be no problem. We'll make sure Rapunzel's not lying to us. Not fun. The spray bottle needs nerfed a little. If it's, I mean, they're mushrooms, I don't have a water strength against them, but maybe that's all they need. We need to put some water resistance on them. They are mushrooms. Like, it was helpful here, but it shouldn't be that easy. Yeah, let's go fight some Cyraxes. That's supposed to be more our speed. We've no way to heal, though. That's gonna be a problem. And I don't think leveling up heals me either. So that might be something we have to address next RPG Maker Monday. Come on, Cyrax trolls, where are you? Come for me, the cute little kitty girl. Meow, meow. Ignore that fairy guy, he's just a oh no! Stay away from the woods. Nothing good can happen there. Especially those woods. Gotta do something with the oasis as well. Maybe that's where I'll put the store. Well, I was thinking about making the, Kitsune Dad kind of the storekeeper, though, because he said he needs to pay his debts. Okay, spray bottle should do, like, super damage to him. There we go. Okay, now we should be able to heal. We'll make sure recycling works, so we know those parameters work. Goblins are super weak to the water. The fire didn't really seem to fuck up the shrooms like they should have, though. Okay. Recycling. Decides to take up recycling. Just no damage. Well, you're supposed to heal. Okay, and she's attacking 3 times. She doesn't have the best attack, but she gets 3 of them. That's pretty good for someone soloing at the beginning. I think that's... So maybe this is the proper way to figure out the scale, is just to do this once in a while, just grind and think about it. Say we might lower her attack because of that. Alright, so we've pretty much tested all the stuff. Got your save file, and it's on to the next tutorial. Yeah, I think the Oasis is where we'll set up a shop, and Switches is next. Switches, everybody. Do you know what Switches means? Let me tell you. Basically means we're gonna stop all the continuous dialogue, all the shenanigans. We're gonna make it so we can't get a billion of the PNG controller and sell it a billion times, because our first fetch quest is gonna be buying an expensive item. We can't have that. So we'll find the solution here, and this way I believe is the most important mechanic of this engine here. Where, once again, we don't have to use 1s and 0s. We don't have to ask ChatGPT for wrong information about coding. When people say, learn to program, you say, no thank you. I use RPG Maker and make the cute anime icons. We'll figure out all about switches today, folks.
Okay, so, hello, my name is Bob. You cannot pass until Joe says you're allowed to. Well, alright, then let's go ask Joe if we're allowed to pass. Hello, Joe. Hello, I am Joe. You're now allowed to pass. Alright, cool, so let's go back and pass then. Hello, my name is Bob. You cannot pass until Joe says you're allowed to. But Joe said we're allowed to. So we got a little situation going on here. Bob is not letting us pass until Joe says he can pass, but Joe is already saying we can pass no matter what. So what's going on here? And the answer is, there's no way for Joe to actually tell Bob, the event, that we're allowed to pass. But he will be able to today, because today we're going to be learning about switches, which are going to be a global database of these things that can turn on and off that each event can access and manipulate in order to check and see how things are going on. It's a little...
Oh, just very quick, because I have the same kind of scenario as him. Let me load up my game. Put it over here. And the save file we just made. Go into the woods over here. I am gonna hate myself so much for that. Okay, if I waltzy over here to this crater... So many craters, something insane must have happened here long ago. Okay, this is better, because I thought since it was just walk on the tile, like we'd be stuck here forever. Seems it doesn't work that way, but I'm gonna make it so this dialogue never happens again. Well, first I need to finish the dialogue. That wasn't enough. It's very quick. Edit to my events here. Something insane here must have happened long ago. There was once a religion based around this event. But even that is so old, no one knows anything about it. All that remains is these craters. That's how you spell craters, right? Well, you can't even see the screen. Why am I asking you? Here, you can't see the dialogue I'm writing, but it's gonna get a little bit introspective. Is like, they are still amazing, though. It proves something very powerful once roamed these woods. Because that means, like, she doesn't even have a concept of space in this world. So it is a bit of world building, just a little sentence like this, like, even though we do ridiculous world building, but it's like, something very powerful once roamed these woods. No, but like most likely the way they look, a powerful beam or a meteorite, something upwards hit them. But she's like, nah, some creature did this. Howdy, howdy, Tonto. All right, back to the Switch learning.
Hard to explain, but just imagine this. Say we talk to Bob, he's gonna check to see if switch 1, for example, is turned on or off. If it's turned off, that means he's not gonna let us pass. But if we talk to Joe, Joe's gonna turn switch 1 on, and then when we go back, Bob is then gonna see switch 1 is turned on, and then let us pass. And that is a basic concept of how switches work. Like I said before, they're gonna be pretty much a global database throughout your game that your events will be able to use to manipulate each other. So let's get straight into it. To start off, we're gonna go straight into our Joe event right here and make so he turns on switch 1. Quite literally. We're gonna go to this thing right here called Control Switches within the first tab. When we press on it, we'll bring up this very small little window. We'll click on this little place right here, and you'll notice we have all these lists of all these numbers. And each number represents a switch. So for example, we choose number 1 right here. We can give it a name. We can not give it a name. It depends on you. And we'll call it, for example, my switch. Ooh, whoa. Switch. There we go. So number 1 is not.
Well, hell, we'll make this meteorite determine a lot of things, because there's a difference between self-switches and the ones he's doing here. We'll get into it. Ah, where is it? I'm already not paying attention that I've missed the switches part. Oh, duh. Well, these are self-switches. Switch 1. 01. Can I name? Yeah, I'm gonna name 01. I'm gonna name it the past, because the crater has reminded you of the past. But it hasn't happened yet.
Now called my switch. And I'm going to set my switch on as opposed to off.
Okay. Control switches. The past. It's now on because you saw this.
Or we're going to hit it on. Hit OK. And now when we talk to Joe, at the very end of all this dialogue, he's going to turn number 1, my switch, on. And now we can make so Bob can check see whether the switch is turned on or off.
Now this is doing some future shit, but I just got to create a new event page, which is a new tab. This is the spot where we see the past. With Control Switch 01 on. I can do conditions switch 1. This means if true, if this has been activated, which happens by you hitting this tile, then this is true now. So anything on this tab, is what happens, and what's going to happen on this tab is absolutely nothing.
And then make actions accordingly. Now keep in mind that at the beginning of your game, all of your switches are going to be turned off. So switch 1 will not be turned on until we talk to Joe, which means if we go into Bob, we can make it so he's not going to let us pass until switch 1 is turned on. And how are we going to do this? We have quite a few amount of options, but let's try this. I want you to go up here and click New Event Page, and that's going to create a new event pretty much in this same event.
Oh, look at me being impatient and quick to the trigger. This is what I just did, making the new tab. He'll go into it.
You're probably thinking, a new event page, that means you're just going to add more events onto the same event? And the answer is, not really.
Aw, how was work? I'm just chilling, winding down for the night, having a chill day, gonna do some chores and errands tomorrow, but always thinking about this wonderful masterpiece of a video game that we be making here.
Really. Instead of just adding more events to the current event, this is actually going to create an entirely new event that will appear on this spot if a certain condition is true. So for example, if we go over to the conditions box right here, choose my switch right here and hit OK, that means this event will be here if my switch is turned on, otherwise this event will be here. And the way it works is pretty simple. It's going to go to the highest numbered page, say page 2, and check its condition first. If it's true, we're going to see page 2 event right here, otherwise we're going to see page 1's event. So, as you can see, page 2 is just going to be a completely blank event. It's going to have below character's priority, trigger the action button, and nothing's going to happen. So for the most part, it's completely unnoticeable to the player. On the other hand, if my switch is turned off, we're going to be seeing our Bob character right here blocking our path. But that's enough wasting time, let's see this in action. So to start off, let's go meet our friend Bob right here. He's going to tell us we're not allowed to pass because Joe hasn't given us permission yet. So let's go up to Joe and ask for permission. He'll say, "Hello, I am Joe, you're not allowed to pass." And when we go back down, we'll find that Bob has mysteriously disappeared. We can walk over top of his event and go into the house, and we have been allowed to pass. And the reason for this is like we discussed before. Joe is going to turn switch 1 on, and when switch 1 is on, we're not going to see our Bob event. Instead, we're going to see our blank event on page 2 right here, which we can walk over, ignore, and not even see it exists. Now, this is the first way we can do this, but there's actually another way we can do this. In fact, let's try it out right now. So let's go to delete event page to delete page 2, and instead, we're going to create a conditional branch. To do so, simply go into the first tab, click conditional branch, and we're going to be brought up to this huge new section with all these new tabs. All you need to worry about is this switch part right here. We're going to check see if my switch right here is set to on, as you see right here. We'll hit OK, and now we're going to be brought to this little cool thing that's going to have this little space in between it. And this little space right here is going to be activated if my switch is on. So for example, if we click in here and say, Joe gave you permission, as you see right here, then we can do that when Joe has given permission. And then another thing we can do is we go to, say, our movement thing, which should be right around right here. We'll set it so this event moves left. We're going to wait for completion, hit OK, and now when switch 1 is on, he's going to say Joe gave you permission and move to the left. So starting off, Bob is going to say, "Hello, my name is Bob, you cannot pass," and all that stuff. But then he's not going to say you have permission from Joe, and he moves left because the switch 1 isn't turned on. Well, if we go turn switch 1 on, like so, "Hello, I'm Joe, you're not allowed to pass." We'll go back, we'll talk to him again, he'll say the same stuff, "My name is Bob, you cannot pass," but then he's going to say, "Joe gave you permission," then he's going to move to the left because switch 1 was turned on. Now we can go to the house, same as before. And that's another way we can make this happen. Now that's...
Let's see if my thing worked. Put it up here in the corner. Alright, go into the woods. Gotta hot gamer it. I've looked at the create map so many times, though I know the little fucking thing to get into it. So I go to this crater. So many craters. Something insane must have happened here a long time ago.
Insane manipulation grind.
There was once a religion based around this event, but even that is so old no one knows anything about it. All that remains is these craters. They are still amazing, though. It proves something very powerful once roamed these woods. Like I said, she assumes like a monster did this. And then guess what? We don't get the dialogue anymore because of the switch, the past has been initiated. So success.
Actually, a third way we can do this, which would probably be the most effective and the one you want to do in your actual game, which is use an else branch in your conditional branch. So if you go into your conditional branch like I just did and hit space, you can open it back up to edit. You want to go down here and click create else branch. So what's going to happen is, if switch 1 is on, it's going to do all this stuff right here. The Joe gave you permission and set movement route. But if it isn't on, and it's the opposite of true, that means we're going to do this else branch right here. So for example, if you want to put this in here, cut this and paste it in here, now what's going to happen is, step 1 is going to check see if switch 1 is on. If it isn't on, it's going to do a default dialog, which is, hello, my name is Bob, and you cannot pass. But if it is on, he's going to say, Joe gave you permission, and move left. And that's really all there is to it. So now when we talk to him when switch 1 is off, he's going to say, my name is Bob, you cannot pass. Then we're going to go turn on switch 1 by talking to Joe. So, hello, I am Joe, you're not allowed to pass. We're going to go back, and now he's going to skip the entire beginning dialogue and just go straight to the point, which is, Joe gave you permission, and then he's going to move to the left. We're going to go in, we're going to be happy, this is going to be great, and everything's going to work perfectly. And that's pretty much how switches are going to work. Like I said before in the very beginning, there's just going to be a bunch of data that I can access or manipulate with each event, then each event can react to whether or not it's on and off. And that's how you can pretty much make it so your game is dynamic and things change over time. In the next tutorial, we're going to be going over the even more complex version of these switches, which is variables, which are pretty much switches, but you can set them to numbers. And they get bigger, smaller, left, right, up, down. It's gonna be crazy. And that's all for this video. If we walk outside, we'll go straight into Bob because he's still standing there, but we won't even care. And that's all for now. Until next time, bye. Now in the
Okay, we're actually gonna do a lot with these switch things now that we kind of understand what to do here. Get the screen off of here. That was our final tutorial, but we're gonna do a bit here with the switches. Okay, so the past, once you look at this crater, will be fucking selected. Well, while we're on every page, we'll do a bit of work to make sure the multi-dialogue stops. Edit. Control switches switch 2, which we'll name Rapunzel lore. That is now on. Then we get to create a whole new tab. Copy event page though, so that way we'll delete most of this. What we're doing is, you know, we already got the long spiel from her, so we'll just have, you know, did you find anything out about Paul or fucking Cthulhu yet? Oh, select all. Duh. Okay. Pull up Rapunzel here. Oh, actually, we'll imply that what they say about her is true, though. She's like, oh, Paul, can you ever forgive me for this? For all this? Sob. And then here comes us, Miss fucking main character. Miss Emily. So you did meet Paul Bunyan? Oh wait, and then we gotta make sure switch. This happens if Rapunzel lore dropped. So you did meet Paul Bunyan. And then she's gonna be kind of getting kind of defensive here. So we'll give her this face. No! I never met a Paul. I was talking about Ollie Shore from that movie from the 90s. Such fucking riveting dialogue here. So have you talked to my husband yet? And then I'm gonna ask, where can I find him? No, where can he be found? I've lived here all my life. And I've never seen an elder god. Or an old one. Whatever those creatures are called. And then Rapunzel's gonna answer with, oh yeah. He can come and go as he pleases. He has the power of space. If you have the power of space... why are we being ungrammatical here? No one can stop you from going anywhere. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? It would be my response to that. So... I'm supposed to check the cosmos for your god husband. And then she's gonna hit her where it hurts. Of course not. You're not a kitsune or anything. Non-foxes can't go to space. It's impossible. Okay, and then basically here's where our objective is. But he does frequent the Gentleman's Club on the 5th floor of the Bong Tower. You can easily get word to him there. And then this is where we'll have dialogue to ourselves as Emily to explain the Bong Tower. Oh yes, the Bong Tower. Apparently, it's 100 floors of suffering and chaos. What about Chino Man? I don't know that reference. I don't know how to fit that into the game. I do know that we will have 100 floors in the Bong Tower. That's just how it has to be. And unlike that anime, Sword Art Online, with their lies where they didn't do 100 floors, we're gonna do 100 floors. Now, one of those floors might actually be a Poke... Oh yeah, that's a Polly Shore. Okay. I know, Biodome. And I actually didn't hate that movie. I liked it. There's just, you know, just because Nostalgia Critic covered something doesn't mean it was terrible in the time frame that it was in the movie theaters. They really don't. If you judge by the same quality, they don't really make any better movies now. Oh, has anyone ever seen the movie The Pest? I got some feelings on that movie. That's Jamie Kennedy. That's a different situation. Jamie Kennedy from Malibu's Most Wanted. Everybody's favorite white rapper story. Okay, 100% of floors is suffering in chaos. But I've never been there because Fuyon's messenger boy always blocks the entrance. So there, now we kind of got a little objective here. We need to get fucking Fuyon's fairy boy the hell out the way so we can get into the Bong Tower. Alright, so with the power of switches, she'll no longer say this stuff. She'll give us this, and she won't give us a skill she won't give us an Echo Flame anymore. Let's make sure it works as fucking promised. You watch the Jamie Kennedy Experience all the time? Dude. How's come MTV is like... This is a random rant for a fucking, stupid... Oh no, not my desktop. Not my wallpaper. How horrid. Anyway. So, vintage MTV, I kind of have a hankering for it, but it doesn't feel ethical ever, because all those shows were made on like 10K. Everyone gets paid nothing. There's a lot of underage drinking, underage pregnancy, and no one has been held accountable. But like, we wanna lynch all the YouTubers in the street every time they're canceled, but MTV is never paid for any of its crimes. Ah, deplorable. That was today's cancel culture segment. Anyway, this is the Bong Tower, by the way. It might look like some kind of ancient libraries for learning, and you might say, why can't you just enter it by going up here? Well, that's just stupid. No. God. Anyway, let's talk to Rapunzel. Every time. Every fucking time. Okay, we already triggered the past, I think. Did we? Okay, no, here's the past. Alright, and then she's gonna give me Neko Flame for like the 50th time. Talking about Paul Bunyan and how she totally didn't cheat. Okay, I learned Neko Flame. Mushrooms will be dealt with. Okay, I'll talk to her again. Oh, Paul, can you ever forgive me for all this? So did you meet Paul Bunyan? No, I never met a Paul. I was talking about Pauly Shore from that movie, from the 90s. So have you talked to my husband yet? No, where can he be found? I've lived here all my life, and I've never seen an elder god, or an old one, whatever those creatures are called. Oh yeah, he can come and go as he pleases. He is the power of space. If you have the power of space, no one can stop you from going anywhere. So I'm supposed to check the cosmos for your god husband? Of course not. You're not a kitsune or anything. Non-foxes can't go to space. It's impossible. But he does frequent the Gentleman's Club on the 5th floor of the Bong Tower. You can easily get word to him there. Oh yes, the Bong Tower. Apparently it's 100 floors of suffering and chaos. If we spelled chaos right. But I've never been there because Fuon's messenger boy always blocks the entrance. Alright. Let's save the game. This is the one we grinded on a little. And I lowered her attack on her class since we're giving her class double attack anyway. Alright, so what I want to do with that switch, the last fun thing we're going to do, now that the switch, the past, has been activated, I want to go back home. I want to do something here with Fox Dad. I'm going to make a new events page for him. We'll copy events page, new events page, and this will be when the past is triggered. And we'll give him as usual. Nature. Actually, he needs to be here facing you and we can see his beautiful tail. Things have changed. We'll see that things... Oh shit, I didn't mean to fucking change 1, actually. No, he's over here in this one, and then in 2, in the past, he shows us his beautiful tail. Now, just by talking to Rapunzel and looking at that... Well, not even Rapunzel. Rapunzel's irrelevant to this. That's a different switch. Simply by looking at the crater, looking in the crater and thinking about how this could be our last time. Our last time to tell this story is when the quest truly began, and our father has changed the dialogue that he's gonna say to us. Fox Dad. Is it true? You're going on a journey? That's fantastic. Here comes Emily. What? No, I'm just kicking around town as per usual. Okay. Oh, put some tunes on. Then Dad's gonna swoop back in with the oh no no no. Wait, what are you doing? That's not how we roll. Oh no 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 no, that can't be so. You have pent-up anger against your mother. Anger and fear from your mother. You saw a crater and thought about the past. It means you have to be a hero. Just like that, it's been decided and inflicted upon us. Wait, John Leguizamo's in the... No, I thought it was Jamie Kennedy. Man, he's been in all sorts of movies, hit or miss. Well, anyway, The Pest was interesting because it was a very interesting retelling of the Dangerous Game. I will say that. Yeah, he's fixed. He's not moving this time. Okay, so what are the stakes? What's the thing with being a hero? How can I be a hero, Dad? I live in a small community in a world divided by a river. I can't do much. No one is really asking for my help either. And then here's the sad part. This is where Dad comes in with the sad part and says, I need your help. I told you about the debt we're in. I also need to make sure that we can somehow, like, block off the forest if you haven't talked to Dog Mom and you know, Fox Dad yet, because that's just proper. That's just how it should be. Is it wrong that the only zombie properties that I've watched other than Shaun of the Dead is The Walking Dead? And despite being a person who watches good television, a lot of prestige dramas, a lot of Mad Men, Breaking Bad, all the HBO shows, all that, I gotta say, The Walking Dead is completely fucking terrible, and our RPG will be way better than that. And I gave it 8 seasons, and it's the only show that, like, made me so fucking mad to have ever bothered. I don't understand what the deal with this show is. I told you about the debt we're in. We're gonna lose this home. How can we be homeless if we can't cross the river? He's asking some good questions here. You going on an adventure solves all the problems. You can fix your self-esteem so I can be a good parent. And I can run a shop for you so you can give me money. Win-win. Emily's response is she's gonna give the anime ... to this. Because, you know, this is the most affection her dad's ever shown her. For just, like, you know, being like, you can help me. And she's like, oh. And it's like, by giving me money. It's just, there we go. That's what happens if we unlock the past. Now, and that's it. We might have to work on the items next time we come back, but I think Dad here is going to be our shop. I haven't made any items yet, and we actually need to because it'd be cool for the monsters to have some drops. And that's going to be the gimmick. That is how we are eventually going to get Fuyan's master out of the Bong Tower. We're going to make some kind of forgery kit to make a fake Menards receipt, as I said. And when we have that fake receipt, he will move. We're not gonna fix this. We will never fix this because I am too lazy to fix this, right? But we can lie to Fuyan and tell him we're gonna fix it. What's he gonna do? Come over here across the river and check it? He can't do that until I cross over 100 fucking floors. We just need to move the messenger. And that's all we'll be doing. There. That was freaking me out. Anyway, simple, to the point. That's the plan. I don't really know what else there is. Like I said, we have switches. We're starting a store. We're gonna stop all the repeat dialogue. We'll be cleaning that up every tutorial image. But most importantly, that's enough of RPG Maker. Saturday. And if I do any streams in between here and now, I'm getting Master Duel and we're gonna work on Duel Links because we have a challenger. And if you wish to be a challenger, and if you play either Duel Master or Duel Links, it does not matter. We're gonna have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Marathon party. Another TRL where I've been waiting for this moment, for me to lose horribly against someone in chat on multiplayer. While I pretend to know everything about the game while knowing absolutely nothing about the game, it'll be an amazing fun fair. So yeah, oh, you made it 6 seasons into The Walking Dead, my dude. Like, everybody acts like the governor. Oh, that was so cool. But the governor really didn't need to be 2 seasons long. And I believe in the comic books, the governor was like 1 issue. And then, let's be real, Negan is just way better governor. But I'm gonna be honest, I've slipped. I've fallen off the wagon. I'm on season 2 of Daryl Dixon. And then the City of the Dead look good. And they kind of look good because things are happening and they got super zombies now. And like, there's a whole worlds and other countries that are happening. And it's like The Walking Dead it should have always been. That's all. I'm giving it another shot. If my heart gets hurt, it'll get reflected in this RPG game. Oh yeah. Okay. If things go as planned for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Marathon, I will pick up Dungeon Dice Monsters on the GBA as well on Saturday, and maybe we'll get some inspirations. We need to play some GBA games and get some sprite inspiration for when we start stealing sprites from fucking Sprite Resource, like a true RPG Maker player does. Anyway... the Telltale Walking Dead game is so much better than the actual Walking Dead. One day we need the lore for why the floor is cracked. Yeah, we got some good lore going in RPG Maker. I plan to start doing these streams earlier, though, on Mondays, not this late. That seems to be more helpful. But thank you for joining me. Thanks for talking about Walking Dead and the suggestions about the quest. I think we have things going. We might make some more switches before I do anything when I come back. So thank you. Have a good night. Pretty much everything Walking Dead's... Yeah, everything's better than the show. And you know, it's funny, that's AMC's, like, only property. Sony made The Walking Dead and Mad Men. So Walking Dead's what they put on all the streaming services. Everything else I gotta go elsewhere for. It's so dumb. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a good night.